make it through to the knockout stages of a major tournament. Tonight, it is all about the Nations League. It's about trying to avoid relegation from the A-League. It is about trying to get a win to give themselves the very best chance of a high seeding for the World Cup qualification draw next month. But as we said right at the start, Pat, it is about just getting a win. One win in the last 16 internationals and no wins in the last 9 competitive internationals. And actually Scotland, we've been talking about it, Pat, in this group in particular, have been on the wrong end of some late goals and some tight calls and some fine margins, and it does feel it's about time that something like that, if they play well, goes their way.
If I'm absolutely honest with you, Scotland, they had that in their favour for a long time under Stevie Clarke. We were getting a lot of late goals, and sort of rousing the fans in the last 5 minutes was helping us. And it goes in phases, and it's not worked for Scotland in these situations in these last number of games. But that gives you a little bit of hope as well. It's not we're miles away, we can't do, we're incapable of these sort of games against these sort of teams. I think it gives these players hope that, play at your very, very best, and anyone, you're capable of taking anyone very close. But you notice I say very close, I don't say beat them. I mean, it's a big call to beat some of the best teams in the world, but I think it is due. Whether it's tonight or not, we're going to see.
Croatia ranked 12th in the world. Start tonight second in this group table. 3 points behind Portugal, the leaders. They're at home to Poland. Poland on 4 points. Scotland on 1 point. Croatia in the white shirts with the distinctive big red checks across the front and back. And Scotland in dark blue with bright yellow trim, yellow numbers, or sort of luminous green numbers on the back of the shirts, and big yellowy green slashes of colour across the shorts. They will play from left to right in this first half as we look out at the pitch from our position in the south stand. Scotland and Croatia about to get underway. Let's hear the Hampden Roar goes out, the announcement. There you get it, just about every single seat filled inside the stadium. And Scotland go looking for this first win since they beat Gibraltar 2-0 back in June ahead of the Euros, their only win in their last 16 internationals. The ball bounces on the edge of the Scotland penalty area. That was a long clearance downfield from Dominik Katarski, the Croatian goalkeeper tonight, dressed all in green away to our right, winning only his second cap for his country. The regular goalkeeper, Dominik Livakovic, is suspended. He was sent off in the 3-3 draw away to Poland last month. And Katarski, to this point, has only played a half of football for his nation. Came on at half-time in a game against Egypt back in March. So there's an area that Scotland might feel they might be able to exploit. I'll get you through the two team lineups in just a second. Duž Čeleta-Sar and Josip Sutalo are the two Croatian centre-backs. They're passing the ball between themselves inside their own half. The big team news for Scotland is that Tommy Conway gets a first start and John McGinn is on the bench, Pat Nevin.
It must have surprised a lot of Scotland supporters, but I'm sure John McGinn will be needed at some point over the next 90 minutes, and indeed the 90 minutes after against the Poles. But Scotland, very interesting. We're talking about the goalkeeper there, Katarski. He's put the ball straight back to him right from the kick-off, which is a classic thing to do for a keeper who's maybe not used to it. First kick of the ball in his first start, so he'll get a little bit of relief from that.
John Akers is going to keep us in touch tonight with developments in Belfast. Northern Ireland against Belarus in Group C3. Northern Ireland starting the night top of the group, 1 point ahead of Belarus. There's a lone blue balloon which goes bouncing across the Scotland half. Scotland have possession, playing the ball around comfortably here. The centre-back pairing for them tonight is Grant Hanley and Rangers' John Souttar. Souttar puts his foot underneath the ball, floats a pass away to the right-hand side, looking to get Doak away. Doak complains he was fouled by Gvardiol. That is going to be a real test for Ben Doak tonight. Doak up against Gvardiol in the left-back position for Croatia. The Scotland team, Craig Gordon in goal, 41 years old, winning his 78th cap for his country tonight. Anthony Ralston continues at right back. The skipper Andy Robertson's at left back. Souttar and Hanley, the two centre backs. Billy Gilmore and Kenny McLean, the two midfield men. Ben Doak wide on the right, Ryan Christie on the left, and Scott McTominay in support of Tommy Conway through the middle, who is the form man in terms of the strikers available to Steve Clarke in this Scotland squad. Luka Modric's first pass of the night goes astray, bit too much pace on it, away to the right. He was looking for the run of Jakic down that right-hand side. Scotland have taken the throw. They'd lost the ball. McTominay thought he'd won it back. Croatia have it again with Gvardiol just inside his own penalty area. Played to Sutalo. Sutalo's pass is up towards the halfway line. Header is cushioned infield. Scotland win the ball back, and it's back at the feet of Grant Hanley. Pat.
Oddly enough, Scotland look a little bit more comfortable on the ball. They're passing it very well early on. Modric actually gave the ball away, and it got a little roar and a little bit of surprise. Oddly enough, it's a strange thing about Scotland fans. They're not going to boo Modric. They tend to applaud Modric. Whereas, if you're here the other week there when we're playing against Portugal, Ronaldo's every touch is good. Oh, terrible goal.
Yeah, Scotland are giving the ball away. Chance here for Kramaric, works it onto his left foot and drags the shot wide. An absolute gift. The pass came from the Scotland midfield.
Kenny McLean, terrible
straight to Kramaric, and Kramaric, so surprised, Pat, didn't make the most of it.
Yeah, and he knew the second he played it, just a little bit too relaxed, because Scotland have got good, comfortable possession in the midfield there. Just a little bit too comfortable there. And I suspect he won't be doing that again in a hurry, Kenny McLean.
So Croatia have Dominic Katarski in goal. Christian Jakic of Augsburg is the right back. Gvardiol at left back. Sutalo and Chaleta Sarr, the two centre backs. Kovacic of Manchester City and Modric of Real Madrid. Going into this game, 288 international caps between them, so that racks up to 290 tonight. Then some young, fresh attacking talent in the three ahead of them. Luka Sucic of Real Sociedad, his cousin Petr Sucic, the 21-year-old who plays for Dinamo Zagreb. Martin Baturina, also of Dinamo Zagreb, he is also just 21. And Kramaric, who's had that first chance of the game, the former Leicester striker, now into his 10th season at Hoffenheim. He is the centre forward wearing number 9. Light rain continues to sweep around the stadium here in Glasgow. Modric with the outside of his right foot, pinpoint pass this time. Scotland trying to win it back inside their own half. Gilmour does that, runs away from trouble, brings the ball up to the halfway line. Sliding tackle on him by Kovacic, and Croatia bring it forward. Here's Kramaric again inside the penalty area. A little shoulder shuffle from him. Clever pass on the turn. Pass from Sucic, and the shot is driven over the crossbar. Good opportunity for Croatia there, and luckily Craig Gordon not called into making a save. But Croatia looked dangerous there, Pat Nevin.
Well, they looked dangerous because they've been given presents by the Scottish midfield there. And on this occasion, unusually, it's Billy Gilmour. He didn't give the ball away. He was tackled rather brilliantly, as you mentioned that by Kovacic, but that was a very, very poor place to lose the ball. If you're the last midfielder, the deepest midfielder, you keep the ball. You need to take chances, but you can't afford to lose the ball there. And that's both of the centre midfielders made mistakes so far for Scotland.
Tommy Conway's looking to get an early touch. He had arms wrapped around him there as he was battling for the ball on the halfway line with Chaleta Sarr, and the referee tonight, Orel Grinfield, has decided that is a free kick to Scotland. Early stages in Belfast then. Northern Ireland, Belarus. John Akers.
Good atmosphere, very little to report at the moment. Northern Ireland have had a free kick in a dangerous area, which was cleared by Belarus. 3 changes from Michael O'Neill then. Ballard and Brown in for McNair and Toll. Paul Smith in for Callum Marshall. It's Northern Ireland 0, Belarus now.
It was Luka Sucic here of Real Sociedad who hit that left-footed shot. His clean strike went flying over Scotland's crossbar. There have been a couple of early scares for Scotland in this game.
There seems a gigantic amount of space in that midfield. And you don't like to see that if you're a Scotland supporter, because if you look at Modric, he's given any space at all, he tends to use it very, very well. It's going to be a very interesting battle in the middle between him and particularly Billy Gilmour.
Scotland starting to build play on the right-hand side of the field inside their own half. That's another loose ball, this time from Doak. He's giving it away to Kovacic. Kovacic runs back into his own half, plays it to Modric, who sweeps a pass back to Sutalo, who quickly pays the ball across to the right back Jakic. Kovacic drops deep to help out the defenders, gets on the ball and then just plays a sideways pass here to Chaleta Sarr. Back to Sutalo again. Patient stuff from the visitors, coming up to 7 minutes played in the rain at Hampden Park. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. It remains Portugal 0, Poland 0. This is League A, Group 1 of the Nations League, and as I said at the start of the night, if you finish in the top 2 in one of these groups in the A-League, you automatically go into the top pot of seeds in that World Cup qualification draw next month. Cheleta Sarr plays the ball back to his goalkeeper Kotarski. Tommy Conway just walks into the penalty area. Kotarski plays to his right. Two centre-backs seeing a lot of the ball for Croatia here. Cheleta Sarr then runs forward to his left, finds Gvardiol. Longer pass from Gvardiol is nodded down here by Suter. Ralston onto it for Scotland. Little 1-2 with McTominay. Then Gilmour involved. Forward to McTominay. Did well to bring it under control. Tries to slip a little pass into Doak. Scotland win a throw on the right.
Yeah, but after a nice little period at the start, 3 or 4 minutes for Scotland, at the moment they're really struggling to put some passes together. Really intelligent way. The way the Croats are playing just now, not giving any space and just waiting for those little lapses of concentration in that midfield for Scotland, and they're pouncing on them.
Shouldn't forget that in Zagreb last month, Scotland did take an early lead. Ryan Christie scored the goal. Croatia eventually went on to win by 2-1. Shea Adams had a late equaliser ruled out by VAR. No Shea Adams tonight. Tommy Conway starting up front for Scotland. They're excited about this man, the Tartanavi. It's Ben Doak, playing at Middlesbrough on loan from Liverpool, starting his 3rd consecutive international for Scotland. McTominay's tackled, and now suddenly Croatia on the counter-attack. Kovacic comes speeding forward. Scotland look for an offside flag. They're not going to get it. Kramaric onto the ball. Right-footed shot deflected, and Gordon gets a toe on it, and it just goes wide of his right-hand post and behind for a corner to Croatia. The most crucial of touches from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he'd actually left a little bit too much space there at his near post, so those long telescopic legs came out, the right leg, and it just got out and no more. Managed to flick it round the post. In the end, it is a brilliant, if unorthodox, save. However, Scotland look incredibly open in that midfield, frighteningly so.
Not even played 10 minutes. They try and work a short corner, Croatia. Scotland have read that, and Andy Robertson made a crunching tackle to win the ball. Doak has it. Powerful pass from him back to Gordon. One touch from Gordon inside his own penalty area. Under a little bit of pressure, just scoops it away with his left foot and straight out for a throw into Croatia. Kramaric has had 3 good sights of goal in the first 10 minutes of this game.
And they've not had to do anything special. That's the worrying thing. So if it's a great piece of play, real skill, brilliant movement, it's actually not that. Just too much space in that Scottish midfield, and pressing up pretty high from that back line, but not seeming to have the pace to get back. So I can see Stevie Clark, and he looks very, very uptight in that technical area just now. Yeah, the Scotland manager is agitated, if you can be agitated with your hands clasped behind your back, but his body language tells you everything, and he's come out to try and make an impact on his team here. The ball is with Croatia inside their own half. They look untroubled as Cheleta Sarr plays back to Kotarski. Kotarski making his first start for his country between the sticks, plays his club football for PAOK. So very recently was playing at Old Trafford in the Europa League. Ahmad scored twice for Manchester United in their 2-0 win, and tonight in the driving rain at Hampden Park in Glasgow. And it's Scotland 0, Croatia 0. It remains Portugal 0, Poland 0. And of course we've got full commentary of England's final group game against the Republic of Ireland in the Nations League, live from Wembley on Sunday. That is a 5 o'clock kickoff. England go into it knowing a win will guarantee them promotion back to the A-League, which is where Scotland are trying to stay tonight. But a Scotland draw tonight and a Poland win, then Scotland would be relegated from the A-League this evening. So we'll keep an eye on what's going on in the other games tonight. Kotarski plays across here to Sutalo. Sutalo again to Cheleta Sarr, bringing the ball out from the back for Croatia. He's about 10 yards short of the halfway line. Rolls one to Gvardiol. Gvardiol lofts one down the inside left channel. Suter comes across, nods the ball down. Gilmour looks to release the pass down the right for Conway, who will chase, decides not to put the challenge in here on Sutalo. He plays back to his goalkeeper Kotarski, who was calm under pressure there, side foots it away, and Croatia start to play out. Beautifully played way out, and interesting, Sutalo, he had a sprint, his first sprint against Conway, and he must have been wondering, am I quick enough? Yes, with bells on. And if you're a centre forward and you want to take on a centre back for pace, you find out in that first sprint. So I suspect Conway will come a little bit deeper from now on to try and get the ball, because he's getting nowhere near the pace of Sutalo.
San Marino 0, Gibraltar 1 in the Nations League tonight. Croatia have been given a free kick, and now one of their players, the game had just restarted there, has gone down and seems to have a problem with their right leg. So we have a slight delay in play. Earlier scoreline in the Nations League today as well. Cyprus beat Lithuania by 2-1. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. 12 minutes played in the first half. Looking forward to watching a bit more of Tommy Conway actually tonight, Pat, and seeing what he can do in that centre forward role for Scotland.
You often find that Scotland playing against the top teams, you know, what to see how Shankland's going to do, or Shea Adams is going to go, and Dykes is going to do, and then you watch for 45 minutes and they've had 3 touches. You know, you could be in the best form in your life, but you better get chances.
Yeah.
You need your mates to create something for you, and at the moment Conway's been doing nothing else except willfully chasing everything he can.
Croatia worked the ball in from the right hand side to the edge of the penalty area. Baturina was involved. Here's Kovacic, keeps it moving, finds Kramaric. Ball now wide on the left with Gvardiol. We've got a camera close up of some noisy Croatian supporters inside the stadium in the red and white check shirts. The ball is back here at the feet of Baturina. Plenty of clubs showing interest in him at the moment. Manchester United being one of those. The 21-year-old who plays his club football for Dinamo Zagreb. Clever feet from Luka Modric in the centre circle. Tomine just caught him with the challenge. Modric was nearly away, gets the free kick. He wanted to keep playing. Free kick is taken short to him. Again, clever skill, beats one man. Receives the ball again on the left, outside of the right foot, looking to feed it into the penalty area. It's loose, and then a diving header from Hanley knocks it behind for a corner to Croatia.
It's really worrying the ease in which they get into really dangerous positions. The Croatians, real understanding of each other, good intelligent movement, fantastic third man run there, and of course at the centre of the ball, that man Modric, he just has so much space.
Yeah, the outside of the right boot pad, he's used it twice to great effect already in this first half. He scored
Rolls Royce.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes the corner into the near post. Not great delivery, headed away. Scotland come herring out of their penalty area to try and put pressure on Modric. You can't really do that, as we've just been discussing. Croatia's captain gets the ball again, dummies across with his right foot, plays it to his left hand side. Sucic's cross, Luka Sucic that is, the number 21 is cousin, number 17 is Petar Sucic. There's Luka Sucic, back to Luka Modric. Modric with the high diagonal away to the right. Header is won by Christie back there doing defending, knocks it out for a throw. Croatia take that quickly. Players rumbling forward into the penalty area, and Scotland under pressure a little bit in the early stages of this game. Modric directing operations. His ball wide to Gvardiol. Did well to bring that under control. Brilliant skill. Flicks it past the defender. Then he's stopped in his tracks, and it's knocked behind by Ralston for another corner. Some great football.
You know, Gvardiol's a very good defender, and he plays left back, left centre back. But see when he's on the wing, he actually plays like a winger. A really, really good one. That a beautiful piece of skill there. When it looked as if he wasn't going to be able to control it, still got it, beat his man and got a corner out of it. I mean, brilliant play.
Denmark 0, Spain 1 early scoreline in the Nations League tonight. Sucic's corner, header is glanced across the face of the Scotland goal. It might even stay in play. That's well kept in play by Sutalo. Croatia now head to the Scotland box, ball into the far post. Cheleta Sarr heads it back across goal. Scotland managed to get this one away. Now bringing the ball out is Billy Gilmore on the run. Modric this time makes the tackle. This is danger for Scotland. Modric with the ball at his feet. Plays it to Baturina on the left. Back to Modric again. Just moves it cleverly from right foot to left foot. Here's Baturina. Dummies across. Then it gets away from him behind the byline. And that is going to be a goal kick for Scotland. What I was going to say about the outside of Modric's right boot, I'm sure you were in the stadium that day, Pat. Do you remember the goal he scored?
Yeah.
Yes.
The pass, was it against Chelsea? Are you talking about that one?
No, I'm not actually.
No,
I'm talking about the goal he scored for Croatia here in the Euros in the final group game, which again was hit. I seem to remember with the outside of that right foot.
The Modric pass for Real Madrid.
Yes, I know the
Chelsea
one.
was one of the best passes I've ever seen in my life.
Really. Here's Kramaric. Kramaric feeds it to his right hand side, looking for Sucic again. Modric 10 yards inside the Scotland half, flicks it to his left to the bushily bearded Gvardiol. Gvardiol plays a little 1-2 with Baturina, the number 16. Gvardiol involved again. Here's Baturina, back to Gvardiol. And the likes of Baturina and the pair of Sucic cousins must be learning so much from playing alongside Modric. Here's Petar Sucic, lets the ball bounce inside the Scotland area. Never made contact with it, trying to get the cross in. It's gone behind for the Scotland goal kick.
I think Modric is listening to your commentary there, because that was another little outside of the right foot, chipped ball into an inside forward position. with a bit of backspin on it, and absolutely beautiful. Don't think there's anybody else in this pitch who would have even considered that ball, never mind developing it and putting it in exactly the right position. He is an absolute joy to watch. Now, part of it, we'll not have Modric all night, but I've tried to kick him 2 or 3 times. I mean, a great lesson for any young players. You don't need to roll about and sort of pretend you've been taken out of the game completely. Gets up, gets the ball down, tries to play a free kick quickly.
39 years old, still playing his club football for Real Madrid. Made his debut for the national team 18 years ago. Ben Doak is away for Scotland. A threat from them. Good ball, edge of the box. Good shot as well from McTominay. And Katarski gets down to his left, palms it away, and it goes behind for a Scotland corner.
Boy, does Scotland need that. I mean, there's such much pressure. The amount of possession that the Croatian team have had in the last 10 minutes or so, it's as if Scotland weren't playing in the game. They could not get hold of the ball. However, 1-on-1, Ben Doak against top quality player like Guardiola. He does not care, does he, young Doak? He is not frightened or affected by anyone. Doesn't let a kipper gets a good cross in.
That has woken the Scotland fans up. 18 minutes gone. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Christie with the corner for Scotland. Headed away. It's going to come straight back to Christie. Controls it. Another cross comes straight in. That was good delivery. Header is flicked to the far post. That came off a Croatian defender. It's going to be another corner for Scotland, who suddenly feel like they're in this game.
Well, one of the big things for Scotland over the last few years since Steve Clarke took over is they are actually pretty good from these set pieces. The delivery is important. The 2 crosses in there was superb. We'll see if they can do the same here.
Last home win for Scotland came in June 2023. That was against Georgia on a very, very wet night that night. It's wet again here. This is Scotland 0, Croatia 0. Corner in from the left-hand side. Header away from Gvardiol. Played down to Ralston here. Ralston gets his pass out to the right. Early ball comes in from McLean. Headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Chaleta Sarr. Scotland win their 3rd corner in a row.
That's a real lift for Scotland because, you know, the game could have actually fallen into that pattern where they couldn't get a hold of the ball. But just that one piece of skill, one piece of belief by Doak in the right wing took the play up the other end. And since then, Scotland have had 3 corner kicks.
Ryan Christie gets ready to deliver this one with his left foot. Deep one into the far post. And trying to get ahead on that is Grant Hanley, leaning forward. Might have just grazed his forehead, but couldn't get any proper contact, and it's gone behind for the goal kick to Croatia.
It wasn't a bad ball either. You know, it's the kind of corner kick that Arsenal use all the time. You swung into that back post. I noticed England used that a couple of times the other night in their game against Greece, and the ball was right, just couldn't get enough contact on it.
It's the voice of Pat Nevin, former Scotland international, with us here at Hampden Park. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Scotland enjoying the last few minutes in this game. Ralston's little pass over his shoulder finds McLean. McLean makes a busy little run forward. Scotland decide not to use him as an option, come back into their own half. Gilmour gets it from Hanley. He's in between his 2 centre-backs. 5 yards inside his own half. Plays the ball forward into the feet of Christie. Andy Robertson is waiting patiently wide on the left. It's back with Gilmour, who's Scotland's Modric in the middle of the park. Longer ball forward from Suter, and Gvardiol just leans in and heads it out for a throw into Scotland on the right.
I think they're right to say Scotland's Modric because his passing's brilliant. He does control games. He is never scared to take the ball, and he's taken it time and time again. Even though he lost it twice in the first 5 or 10 minutes or so, that will not spook Billy Gilmour.
Here he is, now playing his club football for Napoli, of course, as is Scott McTominay, who scored for them last weekend in the big game at the San Siro in the 1-1 draw. Gilmour back into midfield. McLean plays back to Suter. Suter thought about releasing the ball, then saw space, runs into it, crosses the halfway line, finds Doak on the right, and Doak has slightly overhit the pass back to Gilmour, but Craig Gordon's seen that and he's right on the edge of his box. He comes to take control of it for Scotland and immediately get it to Gilmour as quickly as they can. Wide it comes here to McLean. McLean searching pass, finds Robertson. His ball forward is blocked. McLean comes across to cover. Back to Grant Hanley he goes. And Hanley plays to his left and uses McLean again. And now this time it's Scott McTominay who's dropped deep in the heart of the Scotland midfield, inside his own half. Little pass to his left to Norwich's Kenny McLean. Across here to Gilmour. Gilmour, that balloon is still bobbing around inside the Scotland half as Suter goes long looking for Conway. It's over Conway and it's headed back to Dominic Katarski, the Croatian goalkeeper. 0-0.
It just shows you the difference of a player that wants to get on the ball, hold it, slows everything down for Scotland when they need it. And Gilmour's done that a few times. and the confidence that gives everyone else to look for the ball, believe that they can get a little bit of, joy of it. Oh, by the way, what a lovely piece of skill by Guardiola. I'm enjoying this. Doak versus Guardiola. It's been a really good little battle so far.
Well, the latest instalment in that personal battle was Guardiola bringing the ball forward. Oh, there's the outside of Modric's right boot again to find Kramaric, and Guardiola just performed a little nutmeg on Doak there, collected the ball the other side and kept going. Croatia now have it wide on the right-hand side. Here's Luka Sucic, who's a left-footed player who plays on the right, scoops the ball into the far post. Bacciarina gets a foot on it. No power in the finish, and it's into the arms of Craig Gordon.
Yeah, it was a decent ball, you're right. He was left-footed and he knew exactly where he needed to put it there. Actually, the amount of times Modric is playing the ball with the outside. I wonder if there's something wrong with the inside. He won't play it with the inside.
Could be a bet on tonight, Pat. Guardiola's pass intercepted by Gilmour. Modric wins it for Croatia. Danger for Scotland here. Bacciarina, right-footed curler, blocked by Suter. Modric nods the ball down. Here's Petar Sucic, lays it back to Kovacic eventually. Kovacic tries to open things up away to the right. Luka Sucic lays the ball off to the right back, Jakic. Jakic's ball into Kramaric, who's looking to turn inside the Scotland penalty area, overruns it. McTominay takes it off him. Hanley plays back to Craig Gordon, who doesn't like it on that left foot. Swings the left boot at it, doesn't get much distance on the clearance, and Scotland have lost the ball. And Croatia have it inside the Scotland half. We are midway through the first half. Light rain continues to be blown across Hampden Park tonight. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. It remains Portugal 0, Poland 0 in this group. Bulgaria 1 up away to Luxembourg. Northern Ireland fans will have an eye on that. John Akers keeping across Northern Ireland, Belarus, and Spain 1 up away to Denmark. If Spain win that game, they will win Group A4. They have already qualified as one of the top 2 teams in that group, which means they will be in that top pot of seeds in the World Cup qualification draw next month, which will take place on the 13th of December. Croatia with Kovacic just inside the Scotland half, tracked by Conway, who's barely had a kick tonight. Gvardiol trying to bring it away from Ralston, comes in field, laid off to Kovacic. Kovacic strokes a 10-yard pass to his right to Modric. Precision pass from Modric again. Played wide to the right-hand side, teasing Robertson here to cross in towards the near post. Petar Sucic gets a foot on it. Driven shot from the corner of the box goes flashing across the face of goal and behind for a Scotland goal kick. Croatia feel that should be a corner.
Difficult one for the referee to see. From our angle, it didn't look as if it was a corner kick, but judging by the reaction of the Croatian players, it probably was. The way Craig Gordon let it go past him there was such insouciance. Surprised me slightly, I have to say.
Yeah, would have been ever so slightly embarrassed that it caught the inside of the post and ended up in the back of the net. So Northern Ireland are playing Belarus in the Nations League tonight. There's also a big game in Rugby Union's Autumn Internationals in Dublin. It's Ireland against Argentina. Sarah Mulkerrins has got eyes on this.
Yeah, 2 minutes played, Ali, and Ireland were looking for a bounce back after that loss to New Zealand last week. They have started really well, put Argentina under pressure from the kick-off. They've been mostly in Argentina's half, so going well so far for the Irish. And on the breakaway, it looks like Argentina have in fact just capitalised on a spilled pass from Ireland, and they have been able to dot down the opening try of the game against the early run of play. Mateus Moroni dotting down. So it is Argentina who lead by 5 points to 0.
Commentary continues on Radio 5 Sports Extra. A couple of big rugby commentaries on the way on 5 Live for you tomorrow at 5:40. England, South Africa at 8:10. It is France, New Zealand. 5 Live Sport on air from midday tomorrow. Maz Faruqi starts in the presenter's hot seat. Sonia McLaughlin will take over for the rugby from 5 o'clock. Still Scotland 0, Croatia 0 here. Scotland have won the ball inside their own half. Billy Gilmour's under pressure. He doesn't panic. Little ball prodded back to Ralston. Good use of the body here from Kenny McLean. Brings it out for Scotland. Finds Doak. Doak on the move. McLean again continued his run. McLean's looking for Conway. McLean's gone down, might have been fouled there. The referee's played the advantage. Conway's on the ball. Turns away from goal. Keeps it for Scotland. Wide on the right, and Croatia get back in numbers. Conway turns away from Modric and plays the ball into the heart of midfield. McTominay onto it for Scotland, looking for runners down the left-hand side. He's running from right to left, didn't see an opportunity to release the ball. Here's Grant Hanley, 15 yards inside that Croatia half, back to McTominay, and Scotland come back to the halfway line, pal.
Do you know what? I'm watching on the left-hand side. The Scotland are usually so brilliant down the left-hand side. Obviously with Robertson playing, he has been on 5 or 6 times. People just turn away from him. He's not been given the ball out there. He is desperate to have an effect in this game, but the ball just keeps on going right to Doak, which is not a bad thing at the moment.
Step over from Doak. Vardiol backs off. Knows he's got a tough task on his hands tonight with the young Scotland international. Here's McTominay looking for Robertson and couldn't quite thread that ball through. Intercepted and then played forward into midfield to Kovacic. Kovacic has got options left and right here. Scotland keeping an eye on all the runners. Kramaric has drifted wide to the left for Croatia. They decide to hold on to the ball, play it inside their own half. 28 minutes gone in the first half. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. What about events at Windsor Park? John Akers.
Northern Ireland 0, Belarus 0, but Northern Ireland well on top. Dion Charles has had a left foot effort first time, tipped over, then Shea Charles with a free kick, rippled the side of the net, then Spencer at the far post. Just couldn't reach a Conor Bradley cross. Northern Ireland 0, Belarus 0.
Bulgaria 1 up away to Luxembourg. If they win that game, they'll be on 8 points. Northern Ireland draw, they would be on 8 points. John will correct me if I'm wrong. I think Northern Ireland have the better of the head-to-head between those two nations themselves and Bulgaria. Hanley makes a good tackle, followed the runner. Kramaric knocks the ball out of play for a throw into Croatia.
Massive gap in the left back area where Andy Robertson usually is, but he's constantly almost playing like a left winger. That's fine if you're playing wing backs, but he's playing left back tonight. But he's so desperate to get the ball in that high area, it just isn't arriving at him. And that's not his fault. They just haven't had the quality to get it in there, because you know if you get it to Robertson in the final third, the quality is going to be good from the cross.
The rain has ceased. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. McTominay just outside his own penalty area. Back to McLean, cross to the left. Gilmour again in a tight space, does really well, finds Robertson. Gilmour was fouled as he released his pass. That is going to be a free kick to Scotland. It's also going to be a yellow card for the challenge. First yellow card of the night goes to Petr Sucic of Croatia. So we might have another little look at the challenge and see if that actually warranted the yellow card. But the referee, who's from Israel, Orel Grinfield, felt it was.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed completely confused by it himself. To be honest, he never get anywhere near the ball. I think that's quite a cynical challenge. That he's made to look as if he's tackled with his right, but he's came through with his left, and he thinks he's conned the referee, and he hasn't.
Orel Grinfield feels like he belongs in Hogwarts in a Harry Potter novel. That name for me is very Potter. McLean plays the ball back to Craig Gordon. So we played half an hour at Hampden Park tonight. You're listening to it on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. You can always get us on your smart speakers as well. Just say to the smart speaker, play Radio 5 Live. You can get your football commentary tonight and throughout the weekend. Plenty of WSL action over the weekend. Commentary tomorrow, the North London Derby, which kicks off at 1:45 ahead of our two rugby commentaries in the autumn internationals. That Tottenham Arsenal game also available to watch on BBC One. Their coverage starts at 1:15. Scotland pressing Croatia here inside their half. That's Conway doing the chasing from the centre forward role. It's back with the goalkeeper Katarski. He's got plenty on that away to the right, and it's gone over the head of the right back Jakic, and the pressing works because Scotland win the throw.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they weren't going to be able to do anything there because it was too stretched. They weren't out close enough, and the quality they've got in the defenders, they can usually pass through that. However, the goalkeeper can't. Yeah. So that's what to do. Put a little bit of pressure on the goalkeeper, get the ball back.
Scott McTominay. Diagonal ball with his right foot. Doak chests it down. Vardiol senses an opportunity to win it. Doak's too quick for him. Back heel, turns away from the Manchester City man, runs to the corner of the box, lays it off to Ralston. Ralston gets the cross in. McTominay jumps, gets a header on it. Straight up in the air it goes. McLean drives a shot from the edge of the box. Couldn't keep it down. Way over the bar and behind for a goal kick to Croatia.
I mean, a lot of people did ask the question before the game. You know, McGinn left out, Doak playing. But you can see why, can't you? The player that is travelling with the ball at pace for Scotland and asking questions is Doak. Above anybody else in the team just now, he's the youngest player out there by a distance for Scotland. But he's one of those players that Stevie Clarke won't be worried about him because, yes, he's quick, yes, he's got skill, shyness is not a problem either. It's definitely not a problem. He doesn't care.
19, Pat. What age did you make your debut on the wing for Scotland?
Oh, for Scotland, long after that. Certainly in the days I was playing with people like Gordon Strachan and David Cooper in front of us. It was hard. So I'd been 22, 23.
Croatia have knocked the ball straight out of play. Steve Clarke, the Scotland manager, controls it to give it to Anthony Ralston. Scotland get the throw. But Ben Doak has been a bright spark again for Scotland tonight. 19 years old, playing this season for Middlesbrough. 1 goal in 10 championship appearances so far, on loan from Liverpool. And again, at the moment, as Scotland build inside their own half, Gvardiol is keeping a very careful eye on Doak. Suter plays back to Gordon. The rain's back, by the way.
Just so don't worry too much about it. I'm sure Roddy Forsyth will be listening.
Oh, now Scotland are giving the ball away. Chance here for Croatia, trying to work something inside the penalty area. Half cleared only as far as Kovacic. Comes to Baturina. Baturina on his right foot. Back to the edge of the penalty area. Laid back to Kovacic again. Croatia trying to open Scotland up here. Scotland have plenty of bodies back doing the defending. Suddenly Modric pops up on the right-hand side. Low driven cross from him is blocked at the first attempt by Andy Robinson and goes behind for a corner.
I'll be honest with you. Every time the ball goes about 20 yards out, there's a gap. Falls to just about any Croatian player. I'm just thinking, I hope that's not Modric. Because if he gets that ball 20 yards out, he's likely to score as anyone else in this field today. He hasn't managed to get it yet, but that gap is developing, and if that gap develops, trust me, Modric will spot it.
Slight delay in Croatia taking the corner because Luka Modric had to do his shoelace up. He's ready. He actually apologised to the Scotland fans having done it. Said, sorry for the hold up, here I come. Watch what I can do with the shoelaces tied up. That's not a great cross. Robertson heads it away. Oh, what a hit from well outside the penalty area. That came from the left boot of Sucic. Now the cross in from Modric. Gordon's involved again. He saved the initial shot, palms the cross away and stretches to catch this header from Chaleta Sarr. And we have a Scotland defender wrapped up in the back of the Scotland net, involved in some desperate defending there. It's Ralston. He's going to be okay.
I think he is going to be okay there. But once again, it doesn't matter how you keep the ball out, as long as you keep it out if you're the goalkeeper. And that was again very unorthodox. Good save from that shot. What a powerful shot it was. He absolutely nailed that. There was the usual right foot outside the ball cross in from Modric, and one of those ones it's difficult for the keeper because it's between him and the centre backs, but it's low and spinning. He's punched it almost like a volleyball set and saved it that way. Super stuff from Craig Gordon, another player who's not in his first flush of youth.
No, 41 years old, the Scotland goalkeeper. Tries in Dublin, I'm hearing, Sarah Mulkerrings.
Tries aplenty. It's Ireland 12, Argentina 0. Argentina's opener was chalked off. Mateus Moroni with a high tackle on Jack Crowley. He was yellow carded, and then moments later Crowley dotted over and converted, and Mac Hansen has just added a second. Crowley missed that conversion, so it's Ireland 12, Argentina 0.
Commentary continues over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Northern Ireland 0, Belarus 0. Bulgaria 1-0 up away to Luxembourg in that group. That would put Bulgaria on 8 points. Northern Ireland on 8 points as well. Here's Doak. Doak looking for the run of Ralston. Couldn't quite find him. Chaleta Sarr intercepts. Curls a pass down the left-hand touchline. Little touch down the line. Doesn't work for Croatia. Suter is there. Suter plays it to Hanley. 10 minutes remaining in the first half.
There's a wee tactical thing that Scotland are doing just now. I'm just not sure it's right. Ralston is absolutely brilliant as a right full-back doing this inverted run, running into areas where the winger can then go and play him in. That's fine with most wingers, not with Doak. You want to leave him alone. You want him in a big gap of grass behind him and the defender so he can run at him. So I know Ralston does that for his club and it's brilliant and it's effective. Not sure it's the best thing to do with Doak outside you.
Ben Doak, even with that pace, couldn't keep that pass in play from Kenny McLean. He was looking to find him on the right-hand side, so that's gone out for a throw into Croatia. Last 10 minutes of the first half. Scotland 0, Croatia 0, Portugal 0, Poland 0. If Scotland draw and Poland win, that sees Scotland relegated from the group tonight, even before they go to Warsaw on Monday night. But at the moment it is still Portugal 0, Poland 0, and it's Croatia and Portugal battling it out at the top of the group, and those two will play each other on Monday night. That game in Zagreb. Baturina was fouled for Croatia on the left. They've taken their free kick short. Back to Kovacic. Here's Modric. Modric again just pointing at teammates, telling them where they should be. Plays back to Chaleta Sar. Didn't see anything on there. Outside of the right boot, of course. Forward it goes to Baturina. And then Kenny McLean, you hear him scream in frustration because he intercepted the ball, but he wanted to control it and get Scotland moving. Instead, he's knocked it out for a throw.
He knew what he wanted to do because there was an inverted run there by Scott McTominay. If he could have got him in, McTominay was in a good position, but he couldn't manage it.
Here's Kramaric, Croatia's centre forward, running with the ball. Left-hand edge of the Scotland penalty area. Cross is blocked by Ralston, goes out for a throw-in to Croatia, who, as we were saying earlier in the commentary, won on their last visit to Hampden Park. That was in the delayed Euros 2021, won by 3-1.
I mean, they really taught Scotland a lesson that day.
Yeah, they did.
They were so far above Scotland technically, and no, it wasn't embarrassing, but I mean, the Scotland fans applauded Modric up the pitch, and deservedly so. But they were leagues apart. At the moment, Croatia are the better team at the moment, but I wouldn't be saying leagues apart.
It's a point worth making actually about Croatia and this amazing generation of players they've been able to produce. They were the finalists in the last Nations League edition and lost to Spain on penalties. They've lost the World Cup final to France. They reached the semi-finals of the last World Cup, got beaten by Argentina. Even though the Nations League is not a major competition, Pat, Croatian players would love to finish their, the likes of Modric and Kovacic, etc., with a trophy.
They would do. I mean, I think even Modric should be looking to a World Cup as much as that, if maybe even more than that. But you're right. Not only would they want to, but they would expect to, because that's what they've done over the years. And it's that classic one. Everyone always says, well, why aren't Scotland as good as them? They've got less people. Now, Scotland and a huge number of other countries that have got huge amount more numbers than a population than the Croatians. The Croatians are just extra special for the size of the nation they are.
They've got the ball, but they're under pressure. They're inside their own half. Christie trying to win it back for Scotland. Jakic does well, plays the ball to Chaleta Sar inside his own penalty area, straight up the middle of the pitch to Baturina. Baturina looking to get Sucic away down the right-hand side. Robertson's with him, but Robertson backs off. Sucic strokes the pass into Kramaric, inside the Scotland penalty area again, onto that right foot, works it back onto the left foot, dummies the shot, on the left again. Scotland with bodies in the way, back it comes, complete miscue on the strike there, and Scotland are able to clear. They get the ball up to Tommy Conway. He's not got too much support. He passes back to the edge of his own box, and here's Robertson, who in turn goes back to Gordon, and Gordon clears first time with his right foot. Ryan Christie was waiting to try and bring the ball down. Chaleta Sar, over-eager, comes thundering through the back of him to win the header, concede the foul, and actually pick up a yellow card for Croatia.
Just one of those ones where he'll say, well, the forward really never made an attempt, or it bent over slightly, but he was coming at such a rate of knots that he wasn't in control there. I think the referee's right to give him a yellow card for that one. Most centre backs would disagree with you, but see, when you're in the end of those ones, they're not pleasant.
Talking about the way this Nations League is working this season, Croatia being in the final last time, so this time there are going to be quarter-finals in March. So the top two teams in each of the groups in the A-League will go through to two-legged quarter-finals in March, and then whoever comes through those will be the four teams that go through to the Nations League finals in June. And you've also got the fact that if you finish third in League A, you'll face a promotion relegation playoff against a team that finishes second in League B. So there's plenty still to go on, Pat.
Now talk us through how the Champions League works, and when you're finished with that, tell us how the World Club Championship works. Right?
Not time. Gvardiol heads the ball away. 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Scotland had given it away. Ralston's pass was deflected, but luckily into the path of Gilmour. Ralston back now to Suter. Scotland calmly playing the ball across the face of their own penalty area to Hanley. Hanley with his right foot gives it back to Suter. Suter under a bit of pressure, kills a longer pass up the right. Doak brings it under control immediately as Gvardiol breathing down his neck. Gvardiol gives him a nudge. Felt he won the ball fairly. Decision goes against him. That's going to be a free kick for Scotland, and Ralston is going to take that quickly. Gives it to Gilmour. Gilmour comes trotting jauntily with the ball at his feet up towards the halfway line. Gives it to Kenny McLean. McLean onto Robertson on the left-hand side. McLean continues his run, but that pass is intercepted by Sutalo. Sutalo clears with his right foot. Little flick header from Petar Sucic, only as far as Hanley, and Hanley is able to play the ball across to Suter. Let's get an update from the Billie Jean King Cup. Emma Raducanu with a win for Great Britain against Germany. The ball forward here to Tommy Conway. Conway goes down on the edge of the box. That was shoulder to shoulder, says the ref, and in fact the offside flag goes up, so it wouldn't have mattered. Croatia are going to get a free kick, so Great Britain 1-0 up against Germany. How's Katie Bolter getting on in Malaga? Russell Fuller.
Well, she lost the first game. She had a serve broken by Lara Ziegmund, but she's won the next 6, and the set lasted just 27 minutes. So 6-1 Bolter, Britain 1 set away from the quarterfinals of the Billie Jean King Cup. Okay,
thank you, Russell. Back to you for updates throughout the evening. Gvardiol with his right foot plays it forward. Suter was trodden on there by Petar Sucic. Oh, wow. That's a second yellow. That's a red card. Croatia down to 10 men. Clumsy from Sucic, certainly not intentional. Went to win the ball, caught Suter. His first yellow card was for the challenge on Gilmour early in the game. Croatia feel that the referee has been giving the yellow cards out too freely, and that one has particularly cost them, because Sucic is off and Scotland will play the rest of this game against 10 men.
Do you know what? Do you know when the first one I said he thought he was being clever and it was his trailing foot that hit? And I said, no, he deserves that. He thinks he's been clever. I think this might be similar. I think he knows what he's doing. He's leaving a little bit in there, trying to be a little bit cute, a little bit clever. I mean, it's quite harsh. But don't do it when you're on a yellow card. Don't take a chance like that.
Luka Modric, the Croatian captain, is leading the protest. Can I have another look at the challenge again? Well, you're right. He's left the foot in, and by dangling it, there's not masses of contact on Suter, but it's not the foot
that's the problem. He's known that he's not going to get the ball, so instead of stopping, he's come straight through and taking the player out. He's coming from behind him. He can't get himself in any way out of that, so he's going to take a full hit. But I always look at it from the position of the player who's taking the hit. That feels really sneaky, that. He's giving you a really hard hit, thinking it's a free one. It's not.
Well, 2 sneaky ones from Petar Sucic. I mean, he's had to drag himself from the field. He's only leaving the pitch now. Zlatko Dalic, the manager, comes over to commiserate. He buries his face in his red and white Croatian top. But talking about, at the start of the game, those sort of things not going Scotland's way in this Nations League group, that one has gone their way tonight.
Absolutely. Now, I'll be absolutely honest with you, there's a lot of referees that wouldn't have given that sending off for that, but he has, and they need to deal with it now.
Doak, edge of the Croatian penalty area. Closing minutes of the first half, cross in there from Gilmour, headed away, nodded back into the Croatian penalty. The offside flag is up as Gilmour gets onto the ball. We're going to have 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Croatia a man down though. Petar Sucic sent off. Half time at Windsor Park. John Akers.
Northern Ireland 0, Belarus 0, but Northern Ireland well on top. Dion Charles, Shay Charles, Spencer have all gone close in the first half. Belarus really haven't got out of their own half. Northern Ireland 0, Belarus 0.
John, am I right in saying about the head-to-head against Bulgaria that Northern Ireland's is better, or have I made that up?
The head-to-head,
he'll come back to you in that.
Good quiz.
Oh,
is
right.
one of your quiz
Sorry,
questions?
John. No, it's not a quiz question. No, it's not. I'll have a look at half-time. I'm just thinking if Bulgaria win tonight, they're 1 up away to Luxembourg, and Northern Ireland draw, they're both on 8 points. I'll check it, John, and I'm sorry to lob it at you.
Bulgaria beat Northern Ireland in the return game in September, in the away game.
In the away game, but what about... Have they played each other twice in the group? That's the question I'm asking. No, don't worry. We'll sort it at half-time. We'll sort it at half-time. We've got a minute left at Hampden Park. I do apologise, John. That was very unfair of me.
By the way, this has just got very interesting, hasn't it? Incredibly interesting here. Because, they have controlled most of the possession. Not all of it, but most of the possession, the Croatian team. They're going to find that much, much harder. And you just wonder what changes they'll make for the second half, and will Scotland do so too?
Croatia free kick, that's good delivery into the Scotland penalty area, and that is going to go behind for a goal kick. I cannot believe that's a goal kick. That certainly, I thought, came off a Scotland player. Croatia, having seen a man sent off, furious that decision has gone against them. And by the way, I can confirm, it's on the screen in front of me, Bulgaria beat Northern Ireland by 1-0 in their home game. Northern Ireland beat them 5-0 in their home game, so they very much have the better of the head-to-head. Scotland attacking against 10-man Croatia late in the first half at Hampden Park, and Modric doing a brilliant defensive job for his team, chases Ryan Christie, carries him all the way down that left wing, and the referee blows the half-time whistle, and Modric wants to keep it going. So he, Pat Nevin, is very fired up. Croatia started the game well. Scotland looked very open in the first 10 minutes or so. They've come back into it, and now in terms of trying to get this first win in 10 competitive internationals, they're up against 10 men.
Right, first of all, for all our Croatian listeners out there, look, they've been the better side. Passed the ball wonderfully and should have actually made more capital than they actually did. They've made nothing out of it. They've got a few shots in target. Modric has been brilliant. However, they now find themselves slightly behind the 8 ball. Stupid sending off from me. The referee hasn't been kind to them. I mean, it's a harsh sending off for the two yellow cards there, but by the book, they probably should have been 2 yellow cards, but it's kind of harsh on them. On the other hand, there's been a couple of decisions the referee made that have been absolutely strange against the Croats. However, Scotland, they've kept themselves in it, and at the moment, they're looking as confident as anyone else. And the least confident people in this ground just now are the officials.
Yes, well, Croatia's feelings about the red card writ clear at half-time. Luka Modric had already made his complaints. He's the last player to leave the field, but Zlatko Dalic, the Croatian manager, went marching towards the officials. He stopped about 20 yards short. One of the Croatian coaches has now been booked because he's gone to have a word with the referee as he marches off with the match ball. But you could see Dalic, Ailey, with his arms, sort of referencing the 2 challenges that Sucic made and basically saying, how on earth can both of those be yellows and add up to a red card? But that's what the referees decided, and that's why at half-time, Croatia down to 10 men, but it is goalless. Scotland 0, Croatia 0.
Yeah, the referee's certainly not interested in having a conversation there. He's making sure that Dalic doesn't come anywhere near him. I think they're still having a conversation out on the pitch, albeit the referee's not keen on it. But Pat, listen, it's a huge talking point in the game. Scotland will hope that it's a turning point in the game because they have been second best today so far.
Yeah, they have been second best, but that's happened before with Scotland against Poland in the recent game here. Scotland was second best for the first half by a long way, 2 goals down. However, they adapted it slightly. Tactical changes made by Stevie Clarke and then personnel changes, and they were the better team in the second half in that game. Now they've got the extra help of getting possibility of bringing maybe McGinn on in the second half, but also on top of that playing against 10 men. A team that are fuming at the moment, which may actually well work in Scotland's favour. So, you know, Scotland have had to put up with bad luck. That's the deal you get sometimes in football. When you get a little bit of good luck, you've got to use it. Scotland have had that 45 minutes to make good on it.
Absolutely. Well, elsewhere in this Nations League Group 1, it is still goalless between Portugal and Poland. So as things stand, Portugal still lead the group by 3 points from Croatia, and Scotland are still remaining in 4th place. Will that all change in this second half tonight? Thanks, Ali and Pat. We'll be back with you for the second half commentary shortly. But for just now, let's get all the news with Fraser Dainton.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you. Good evening. 4 teenagers and a man have been found guilty of murdering 2 boys in Bristol who were attacked in a case of mistaken identity. Mason Rist, who was 15, and 16-year-old Max Dixon were stabbed with knives and machetes in January. Their attackers were looking for revenge after bricks were thrown at a house earlier in the evening, but the 2 friends had nothing to do with the incident. Our correspondent Phil Mackey was at Bristol Crown Court.
As those verdicts were read out, the family members of both Max and Mason were sitting in the public gallery, hugging one another and in tears. And afterwards we heard statements from them where they thanked the police for what's happened, but reminded everybody that despite getting a victory today, getting the guilty verdicts, they won't get the children who were killed back, and that will affect them forever.
The Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, has insisted she's taking a series of steps to improve economic growth after figures showed output rose by less than expected in 3 months to September. She said she wasn't satisfied with the growth of 0.1%. The Conservatives said Labour had talked the economy down and called the figures disappointing. The head of one of America's biggest public health organisations has said the nomination of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as the next health secretary is the wrong choice. Mr. Kennedy is a prominent vaccine skeptic who has also supported conspiracy theories. The head of the American Public Health Association said he had no health training and lacked the skills for the job. Donald Trump said Robert Kennedy would make America healthy again. 3 Metropolitan Police officers have been found guilty of gross misconduct for accessing files relating to the case of Sarah Everard, who was murdered in 2021 by a serving officer. A tribunal found there was no proper policing purpose for them seeing those files. One officer was sacked, another was given a final written warning, a third had already left the force. And the Met Office has issued snow and ice warnings as much colder weather arrives across the UK from Sunday. Frost and plunging temperatures will be widespread, with heavy snow forecast for higher ground in southern Scotland and northern England.
The Giants of the Southern Hemisphere are in town for the Autumn Nations Series. New Zealand, South Africa and Australia are up against the home nations, and you can follow all the action on 5 Live, Sports Extra and BBC Sounds.
Oh, what a try! What a finish!
Over on the Rugby Union Weekly podcast, we'll bring you the best analysis and cover all the big stories on and off the field. And as ever, we'll be joined by some of the biggest names in the game.
Tight games, fine margins, but there's so much for us to learn.
You can see there's just a massive lack of confidence at the moment.
The Autumn Nations Series and the Rugby Union Weekly. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
We'll be back with the team at Hampden Park very shortly, but first let's head to Malaga for the Billie Jean King Cup. Katie Bolter is on court for Great Britain and correspondent Russell Fuller is watching.
And she's started very well, Ailey, if we can forgive her dropping her serve in the opening game of the match against Lara Ziegman, who is 84 in the world. Bolter's up to 24 in the world, having had a strong finish to the season by finishing as the runner-up in Hong Kong and the semi-final in Tokyo in recent weeks on the WTA Tour. And she's won this first set by 6-1, so won 6 games in a row. It lasted only 27 minutes, and she's got a point to level this second set now at 1 game all, knowing that victory will take Great Britain into the quarterfinals.
Earlier, Russell, we saw Emma Raducanu come through her match in straight sets. That'll be a huge boost for her as well.
Yes, she has every reason to be pleased with her return to competitive tennis, having not played since a foot injury sustained in Seoul in September. She won 6-4, 6-4 against Yulia Niemeyer, who's just inside the top 100. Generally served very well. There was a flurry of late double faults, perhaps a few nerves on display as she tries to close out the match, and needed 6 match points in the end. But very good start on her comeback for Raducanu, and that's why the Britain captain Anne Kyotovong will now be hoping that Katie Bolter can get this second match won, and there'll be no need to play the doubles. Great Britain against Canada will be set in the quarterfinals on Sunday.
Thank you very much, Russell. Let's hear then from Emma Raducanu after her win earlier.
I played some really good tennis today. Playing Euler on an indoor hard court isn't easy. I mean, it's a game of holding serve and trying to get a break where you can. I haven't obviously played a match in a long time, so I think these are small sharpness things that come the more matches I play. So I'm very proud of how I regrouped and managed to close out in that final game. The team, each and every one of us, we're all playing our role. We wouldn't be here without every member, and I'm very, very proud of myself, but also very proud of every team member playing their role as best as possible. Sacrificing certain things and hits, and everyone, especially Anne, for leading us into the finals, and starting 1-love up.
That is Emma Raducanu after her win earlier. In the Rugby Autumn Nations Series, Ireland are currently in action against Argentina in Dublin, looking for a bounce-back victory. Sarah Mulcairns can bring us all the latest.
Yeah, 25 minutes gone. It's Ireland 15, Argentina 6. We have had 2 tries from Ireland, from Crowley and Hansen. 1 try chalked off for both teams. Maroney and Byrne denied. We've also had 1 yellow card for both teams. Beelum, the latest for Ireland, for a crock roll. He's just about to come back on the pitch. 2 penalties for Argentina, 1 drop goal from Jack Crowley, who after being subpar last week does look much better. Argentina have an opportunity here to kick another penalty. That would take it 15 points to 9. I'll let you know if they do it momentarily. Looks good. So that is going to be 15 points to 9. Ireland lead Argentina in Dublin.
Thank you, Sarah. Tomorrow afternoon on 5 Live Sport and BBC Sounds, there will be commentary of England against the back-to-back world champion Springboks. Kickoff is at 5:40, with England still looking for their first victory of these autumn internationals. Fullback Freddie Stewart has been recalled at fullback. Here he is.
I only got the nod in the week, quite late on in the week. I think you never expect to be in the team. It's something you have to work hard for, and I've obviously not been in the team the last couple of months. I've been working really hard on areas of my game, and just really grateful for this opportunity.
Yeah, how hard has that period been? Because you were such a mainstay in the side for so long, and then the last sort of calendar year had to sort of be one of the guys outside the 23. That must have been tough for you.
Yeah, definitely up there with one of the hardest things that I've ever had to deal with. I think when you have something for a while and you lose that, it puts into perspective how important that thing is to you, and not having that over the last couple of months has been really challenging. Emotionally it's been really tough, but I suppose I've had to learn to use that as fuel to just keep pushing and keep wanting to get better and try and win that place back.
Yeah, has it reignited the hunger a bit?
Absolutely. I think sometimes it's not a bad thing. It's a bit of a kick in the teeth, but you have to use things like that, use those experiences, and I'm certainly sat here a better rugby player and an emotionally stronger person.
Yeah, and on that, the better rugby player bit, have you then sort of worked on other areas of your game to sort of really compete with what George Furbank does well, for example?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, first of all, it's not losing sight of your strengths.
Yeah.
I don't want to try and be a different Freddie Stewart to the one that was a mainstay in that team, but it's certainly trying to add to that player. Certainly on the attacking side of things, try and be a threat in other areas of the game. So that's been the challenge.
What's been the message from Steve this week? What does he particularly want from you?
To get in this game, tackle it head on, get in the air, create lots of contests, and just enjoy it, I think is the main message. Enjoy being back out there. I've missed Test rugby, I've missed the pressure, I've missed the nerves, everything about it. So I'm just so excited to be back out there.
Full commentary of England-South Africa tomorrow on 5 Live from 5:40. There will also be an On The Whistle podcast from Twickenham available on the Rugby Union Weekly. Elsewhere, one of Britain's most successful road cyclists, Lizzie Deignan, will retire at the end of next season. Deignan won an Olympic silver medal at the London 2012 Games and was part of a group of top riders who fought for better salaries and conditions for female riders.
The only dream I've ever had was to be a mum. I never dreamt of becoming an Olympic champion or whatever. That kind of happened to me as I grew up. And yeah, being a mum is something that I've always dreamt of and always been really sure that I wanted to happen in my lifetime. So when I met my husband and he felt the same way, it was very clear to us that that was something that we wanted to get started with. And, I'm really proud that I was able to prove that becoming a mother isn't necessarily the end of an athlete's career, that, you are able to come back successfully and strong, as strong as I've ever been after having children. So it's not something I initially set out to prove that point, but I'm really proud of the fact that we've achieved that.
Everything felt right, so to speak, in terms of coming back to the bike and the performance levels and the team responding with saying, well, look, your data and everything else is in the right place. You don't feel like there was any kind of compromise that you've made.
No, I mean, I was extremely fortunate that when I was pregnant and without a team, Trek came on board and started up a women's team, and they negotiated my contract with me as one of the best riders in the world. They respected the palmares that I had. There was no suggestion of getting a good deal because I was on maternity leave. There was an absolute mutual respect from the very beginning, and because of that, I felt very safe and secure in my return. There was no rush. And yeah, I felt incredibly supported. So, it's down to them really. And since then, our contracts have maternity clauses in, which they never had before I was pregnant. And I think there's a kind of gold standard in cycling now of maternity cover that, Trek have led the way in. And I'm, fortunate that I was their athlete.
Credit to Trek. Do you feel like that you have pushed the boundaries for women's cycling, certainly, maybe even women's elite sport beyond there? Tell us a little bit about that and maybe what you may have felt you've had to try to negotiate in recent times, and also the growth of women's cycling. Do you feel like it's really changed, and have you been a part of that?
Yeah, it's unrecognisable, women's cycling, compared to when I first started. I turned professional 18 seasons ago, earning €200 a month. There's now a minimum wage. There is so many different things in our contracts, in our world tour, in terms of, races organisers need a certain amount of TV coverage, media coverage, minimum safety guidelines, all these things that we never had in the sport. And I feel like our sport, cycling, is, you know, at the forefront of equality, and that we're not there yet, but I think in terms of other sports we're doing a good job. And yeah, I'm really pleased that I've been a part of that, and doing things like having children in the middle of my career, at the height of my career, I think contribute to the fact that women are taking seriously in the sport.
The BBC's Matt Warwick with the questions there. Elsewhere today, Ruben Amorim has given his first interview since taking over as Man United boss. The Portuguese said, "I know it's a massive challenge, but I feel quite relaxed and I believe a lot that we are going to succeed." In cricket, England fast bowler Jofra Archer has not been shortlisted for the Indian Premier League auction for 2025, but James Anderson is included. Anderson, who is 42, made the cut after the list was trimmed from 1,574 initial entries to 574 following consultation with the 10 IPL teams. I'm just taking a look at the screen, and Croatia making their way back out onto the Hampden pitch. Pat Nevin, what will the conversation be like from Steve Clarke? They were second best in that first half, but right at the end, Croatia got a man sent off, so they've now got the man advantage.
I don't think they'll be particularly spooked by that, purely because the fact that, you know, they're a good team, they're going to have a lot of possession. The second half, Scotland would have hoped to have got stronger, and that was before they had an extra man. So I think they were building up a team to say, no, don't panic, we can be comfortable, and, you know, try and make sure you keep possession. And if you're playing against 10 men, make sure that you make the width, use the width as much as you possibly can, and stretch them, because gaps will appear.
I see Scott McKenna making his way out stripped. So changes at the break. Alongside Pat Nevin, who can bring us right up to date with all of that, is Ali Bruce Ball.
Thank you, Ellie. Yes, there's a little bit to tidy up before we get the second half underway. I think the key point you make is that, yes, Croatia are back out on the field and there's only 10 of them. Petar Sucic sent off. There were other yellow cards picked up towards the end of the half. One of those went to Luka Modric, the captain, for his complaint. Centre-back Duj Chaleta-Sar was already on a yellow card as well. Andy Robertson has picked one up for Scotland. The change, Scott McKenna is on for Grant Hanley. Grant Hanley, who's a real favourite of Steve Clarke's, has really not been playing much club football for Norwich this season. Scott McKenna, who now plays his club football over in Spain for Las Palmas, he comes in and he will play alongside John Souttar for this second half. McKenna, who started the first two Nations League games in this group. Second half is underway. I think the reason we were actually delayed with the restart of the second half there, and suddenly the heavens open and the rain comes pouring down again, is they forgot the match ball. It's out there now because Scott McTominay is passing it forward for Tommy Conway. Chaleta-Sar is there and clears with his left foot. I think we're just about up to speed and up to date at the start of the second half, apart from the fact I forgot to start my stopwatch, which I've done now. But I'm now behind.
You were going to wind him about forgetting the ball. Wind him up about forgetting the ball.
Exactly. Hoist by my own petard. Right, goal at Windsor Park, John Akers.
And it's for Northern Ireland. 5 minutes into the second half, a corner from the left, swung in, bounced, Belarus didn't deal with it, and Dan Ballard stooped and headed in. Northern Ireland 1, Belarus 0.
Well, that's good, John. That means we don't have to worry about head-to-head records for now. If Northern Ireland win, they go to 10 points. Bulgaria 1 up away to Luxembourg. That'll put them on 8 points. Scotland have started the second half well. They've won themselves a corner, cross swung in from the right-hand side. There's been another try in Dublin as well. We'll go to Sarah Mulkerrin shortly. Let's see what Scotland can do with the attacking set piece. Here it comes in from the right. Delivery with the left foot, and the header is glanced wide of the far post and behind for a goal kick. So who scored the try in Dublin? Sarah?
It was Ireland. It's Ireland 22, Argentina 9. Sustained pressure on the Argentina line. Eventually broke through with a clever run from Robbie Henshaw. Joe McCarthy, the man to touch it down. It's Ireland 22, Argentina 9.
Commentary continues on Radio 5 Sports Extra of that one. Croatia take their goal kick. Dominic Katarski of PAOK is Croatia's goalkeeper tonight, making his first start for his country, having only previously played 45 minutes of football in a March friendly against Egypt. The ball has made its way downfield and ends up in the arms of Craig Gordon. Craig Gordon bowls it out with his right arm away to Anthony Ralston. We were talking in the first half about the incredible rain that fell June 2023 when Scotland got that last home win against Georgia. Of course, Roddy Forsyth was with us that night, as you were saying, in the first half as well, Pat. Roddy has been in touch with all the team, as he always does, ahead of a Scotland game, wishing us luck and saying have good fun.
And he also told us that night about the river that runs under Hampden Park. This is good work with Roddy, because I will use that every time it rains here.
Amazing story. Brilliant stuff that we used to get from Roddy. Lovely to hear from him ahead of the game tonight, and we wish he was here with us watching. 2 minutes in to the second half. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. Great opportunity for Scotland here to try and get a first win in the group. They're up against 10 men. We know that often can make things tricky, depending on how well Croatia go about their business with 10 men. Tactically very astute. You saw Luka Modric chasing incredibly hard at the end of the first half, very fired up by what he felt was an unjust red card. Andy Robertson in on the left-hand side, low cross is blocked at the near post by Sutalo. Ball spins up in the air, it's still in play. Little flicked header from Christie to Robertson. Robertson nods it back here to Gilmour, and Gilmour passes back towards the halfway line. Here's the substitute, Scott McKenna. McKenna's pass into the feet of McTominay. Croatia's midfielders stand off him. Tall midfielder in his pink boots lays the pass off to Suter. Suter goes wide to the right. That's Gilmour out there playing little 1-2s with Ralston. It's Doak, in fact, who plays the 1-2 with Ralston, and then Ralston feeds the ball back into the middle of the park to McKenna. McKenna's low pass finds Christie. Christie to Robertson. Robertson's in the inside left channel. Christie spots the run here of Conway. Not quite enough pace on the pass to get past Sutalo. Sutalo intercepts and clears with his right foot down the right-hand touchline. Bit of intensity about Scotland at the start of the second half, Pat.
It's a lovely feeling if you know you've got an extra man, but you can hold the ball well. And that's why the likes of Gilmour are so important now. Hold the ball, get the opponents chasing and chasing and chasing. They will tire. They have got so much ground to cover. And you can see the lift that it's given every single Scottish player. Also very noticeable, start of the second half, there are gaps behind both full-backs. They're not used to playing 4 at the back, they're used to playing 3 at the back. And you can see a couple of bad decisions, not a direct line along that back line. So I think Scotland, if they play it right, they will get chances.
Scotland trying to intercept from the Croatian throw. Kramaric under pressure inside his own half. Croatia keep the ball though. Back to Kovacic. Neat pass forward from him. Right back Jakic in loads of space as he goes racing into the penalty area, but Croatia attacking down the left-hand side. Scotland with defending to do. Little layoff back to the edge of the penalty area, looking to get the shot away. It's going to be Modric who hits it wide of the target. Good few yards wide, and then the offside flag eventually goes up. So the assistant referee was waiting to see if that might develop into a goal. It didn't. It would have been ruled offside. Scotland 0, Croatia 0.
That's the first time Modric has got it. 20 yards out, and he made the mistake of playing it with the insides, but but I wouldn't have counted. You're absolutely right. It did look out offside all the way, but it just shows you. I mean, Croatia aren't here sitting and thinking we'll get a 0-0 draw now. We still want to win this game, but it may have to be done on the break.
As I said, commentary continues on the Rugby Ireland Argentina in Dublin. Sarah Mulkerrin's keeping us updated on that. Commentary over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Commentary of the 2 autumn internationals tomorrow on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. England South Africa kicks off at 5:40. France New Zealand is at 8:10. Rugby Union Weekly podcast, the place to go on the BBC Sounds app for all the build up to those internationals over the weekend. Of course, the Football Daily there for you tomorrow morning as well, with all the reaction to today's football, including post-match analysis and reaction from this game. Scotland 0, Croatia 0, Portugal 0, Poland 0 in the other game in this group. Tommy Conway battling for a ball down on the dead ball line, but Sutalo holds him off. It's going to be a goal kick to Croatia.
Just watching that back line, talking about the full-backs. Look, we know Gvardiol's very good playing at left full-back. The right-hand side though, Jakic may be a very good footballer, but he's getting himself in some very bad positions for a full-back. It must be tempting to move Doak from the right wing to the left wing, just to ask him a few questions, because Jakic just constantly gets himself in the wrong line, in the wrong position, not looking the right way for a defender.
Croatia playing out from the back, Modric taking control for them, speeding across his own half from right to left, laid off to Kovacic, forward to Kramaric, back to Chaleta Sarr, wide it goes to Gvardiol, uses Kovacic again. Kovacic, nicely placed pass wide to the left hand side. Kramaric has accidentally trodden on the toe of one of the Scotland players. He apologises. Long diagonal is aimed at Jakic, the Croatian right back, who does love to get forward, but it beats him, and it goes out for a throw into Scotland deep in their left back position.
He is one of those full-backs who much prefers to be in the opposition's half than his own half. You know, it's a modern thing, it's fine. If you've got a player like that, you want to actually push him back, and you want a winger against him, ask him a few questions. I just wonder if Stevie Clark's noticed that and will make use of that as the game goes on.
Robertson's throw down the line is headed forward into the Scotland half. McTominay gets his toes trodden on now. Christie tries one with the outside of his left foot, looking for Conway. It is blocked by Chaleta Sarr, and it goes out for a throw into Scotland. They've got Craig Gordon in goal. Ralston, Suter now playing alongside Scott McKenna in the heart of the Scotland defence. Andy Robertson, the captain, on the yellow card at left back. Billy Gilmore and Kenny McLean in central midfield. Ryan Christie and Ben Doak, the wide men. Scott McTominay playing off Tommy Conway up front. Scotland fans getting excited, but only for a moment, because Ralston's pass doesn't find Doak wide on the right. Gvardiol read it. Croatia give the ball away. They couldn't find Modric. That's a lovely pass from Gilmore. Doak's in on the right, looks for the cross in towards Conway. It's intercepted, and he lies on the Hampden turf with his head in his hands and wonders whether he made the right decision. Scotland get a corner.
He made the wrong decision. He should have gone straight towards the goal there. But that precise position I was telling about you 1 minute ago, there is a huge gap there. You've got to use it. The good news is Billy Gilmore will spot it.
Yeah.
He's spotted it already. And it's not just on this left-hand side and Scotland's right-hand side as well. Both sides can do it. There are gaps. There are chances for Scotland.
Doak had the pace to take that on. The cross, if it was going to be the right one, needed more pace. Here's the corner. High, deep one towards the far post. McKenna challenges for it. Modric jumps on the edge of the box. There's a foul there. Long, shrill blast on the whistle from the referee, and that is going to be a free kick to Croatia, who are down to 10 men. Petar Sucic sent off at the end of the first half for a second yellow card. I'll take you through their team in just a second. There's been another try in Dublin. Sarah.
We're actually just gone to half-time, Ali. It's 22-9 that Ireland lead. Ireland much better this week, more speed and intensity. 2 early tries from Crowley and Hansen. Joe McCarthy added a third late on. 3 penalties for Argentina, their only return. There's also been 2 yellow cards, 1 for each side. It's been eventful. It's 22-9 at the break.
Here's Modric on the ball for Croatia, just shy of the Scotland penalty area. Modric receives it again. McTominay closes in. Modric passes to Kovacic, gets it straight back. The 39-year-old pulling the strings as always. Croatia will still be dangerous. 1-2. Modric's pass gets them in on the left-hand side. Scotland have bodies back there. The cross comes in. It's blocked by Ralston and goes behind for a Croatia corner. 0-0.
And certainly Croatians needed that. They've been under a little bit of pressure start of this second half. Not been able to get out their own half at all, but when you've got quality players like that, they don't panic, and when they play out with good technique, get themselves into decent positions, and although they've not created chances, they do look very dangerous on the break, Croatia.
Here's their corner. Low one into the penalty area, read by Robertson, intercepted, speeding forward for Scotland. Look at the wheels on Ben Doak, flying away down the right-hand side. Oh, I thought the pass was right from Robertson. It's just drifted beyond him and gone out for a throw. Scotland looking dangerous on the counter, but unfortunately it comes to naught.
But it's the right ball. It's exactly the ball again. We know where the danger is. We know where the gap is. Robertson's, remember, he's run full tilt there, 60 yards. He's having to play the ball on the run. If he puts it anywhere in front of Doak there, you get it. Sadly, he put it just out of play.
Billy Gilmore onto the ball, a loose ball for Scotland just inside the Croatian half. They're playing with the man advantage. I'll give you that Croatian lineup in just a second. Robertson finds Gilmore to Robertson. Scotland starting to attack down the left. Christie comes dancing in from the left-hand touchline, beats Jakic, feeds McTominay. McTominay inside the Croatian penalty area, turns away from goal and plays the ball back here to Gilmore. They start their runs in towards the far post. Doak's there, lays it back, might fall to McLean. McLean gets a touch on it. Ralston's drive is blocked. Falls to Robertson on the edge of the box, and Modric nips in, takes it off his toe, and Croatia bring the ball away.
Getting in a great position, Scotland, getting round the back there, and I hope Jakic's family isn't listening to me just now. He's a liability. He's getting himself in all the wrong positions. If I was a Croatian coach, I'd be looking at my bench just now thinking, what can I do? Or maybe just go to a back three.
Penalty at Windsor Park, John Akers.
And it's for Northern Ireland. 29 minutes plus added time remaining. Pretty harsh, this handball. It was a free kick to Northern Ireland on the right hand side. It was a whipped in cross. The defender has turned his back and it's hit him on the arm as he's kind of trying to protect himself. It wasn't a long way from his body, but it was in a slightly unnatural position. The referee didn't give it in real time, went across to the monitor after he was instructed to, and gave it after having a look. So Dion Charles is standing over this with the score at Northern Ireland 1, Belarus 0. Northern Ireland.
Second, John. Billy Gilmore with the strike from Rangers missed the target. John, back to you.
So Dion Charles standing with his hands on his hips, backs away to the edge of the penalty area. Northern Ireland leading Belarus by a goal to nil. Up he steps, right-footed, and scores! Northern Ireland 2, Belarus 0.
Great news for Northern Ireland. Michael O'Neill has got them going again. Win tonight puts them on 10 points. Belarus would be on 6. Bulgaria still leading Luxembourg by a goal to nil, would be on 8. Northern Ireland are away to Luxembourg on Monday. What about the Billy Gilmore chance there, Pat?
Oh, Billy, that was a terrible mistake. He's 20 yards out. He's been given a great opportunity because the keeper's passed it straight to him. However, the pass on to Doak on his outside there would have put him 5-10 yards from the goal. Nobody near him there. It's a terrible decision by Billy Gilmore. I have to be honest about it. Everyone in the stadium said the same thing. The arm came out and went, "What are you doing?" That's the best chance by a distance that Scotland have had in this game, and Billy's made the wrong decision.
13 minutes gone in the second half. Scotland 0, 10-man Croatia 0. Dominik Kotarski's in goal for Croatia. Christian Jakic is the right back. Josko Gvardiol at left back. Josip Sutalo and Duž Čeleta, the two centre backs. Modric and Kovacic ahead of them. Luka Sučić, Martin Baturina and Andrej Kramaric make up the remainder of the lineup, with Petar Sučić, Luka Sučic's cousin, having been sent off late in the first half. Steve Clarke, I can see, is getting the attention of a couple of his substitutes, thinking about making some changes. We're approaching the hour mark in this game. Great chance for Scotland to get themselves a win. If they did that, it would put them on 4 points. And I see that Portugal lead Poland by a goal to nil. So if Scotland were able to win this game and Poland were to lose, they would be level on points with Poland ahead of the game away to Poland on Monday night. Poland having won the first game between the two by 3 goals to 2. Here's McTominay. McTominay lays the ball off to his right. Doak onto his left foot this time. Back across to Christie. 25 yards out. Jinking run from Christie. Finds McTominay. Corner of the penalty area. McTominay's low cross. Well defended by Čeleta Sar. Blocks it. Scoops it away with his left foot.
Again, the right-hand side was so dangerous for Scotland. Gvardiol does not want to take on Doak. It's really interesting. He's a top player, but he's not a natural left full-back. He plays there all the time, but he wants to get forward. Every time Doak gets the ball, he's now backing off.
This is where Scotland have got to be careful as well, being encouraged forward by their fans. And Croatia now have the ball and they bring it forward at speed with Baturina, who runs into the centre circle. So many blue shirts gather around him. He plays it to his right to Luka Sučić, plays a couple of 1-2s with Modric. Modric draws his man in, then lays the pass off, and then played across by Sutalo inside his own half to Čeleta Sar. Denmark 0, Spain 2 in the second half in Group A4. So it looks like Spain are going to win that group. Denmark 0, Spain 2, Switzerland 0, Serbia 0. The other game being played in that group tonight. But the great news for Northern Ireland, they lead Belarus by 2 goals to nil. Portugal leading Poland by a goal to nil in this group. That would take them to 13 points. If Croatia draw this game, Portugal will win the group. Here's a ball into the edge of the penalty area. Perisic is waiting to come on for Croatia. They're going to make a double change. Scotland with defending to do. Shot takes a wicked deflection and spins high and wide of Craig Gordon's goal. There is still a threat from Croatia. They've won a corner.
Yeah, and there will always will be, because they are very good in the break. And the fact that they're going to bring Perisic on here, that's only going to help them. I wonder if they're going to be tempted to do it before the corner kick. Must be a temptation.
Mario Pasalic, former Chelsea man, although never got a look in at Chelsea, now at Atalanta in his 7th season at the club, is also going to come on for Croatia. And you think about the goals that even Perisic has scored for his country. Scored one against Scotland in the Euros here in the 3-1 win. Of course, scored against England in the World Cup semi-final 2018. Modric's delivery from the corner is headed away. Perisic scored a goal in the World Cup final that year as well, which of course they lost to France by 4 goals to 2. But he's another one of these Croatian players who just keeps going and going and going. Now playing at PSV at the age of 35. Scotland are going to make a triple change, just spotted by Pat Nevin. Lyndon Dykes waiting to come on, John McGinn is waiting to come on, and Ryan Gould of the Vancouver Whitecaps, who Scotland fans are pretty excited about too, is waiting to come on. That is positive from Scotland. They're up against 10 men. It is still 0-0, and at the moment it's Croatia possession. No one better at keeping the ball and controlling a game than Modric, and they look to him every time. Here he is on the right inside his own half, chips it down the line to Jakic. Jakic controls and plays back to Sutalo.
The thing is, Scotland should be bold. When you think about it, what have they got to lose? The bottom of the group just now, they're at home, they're playing against 10 men. If they lose, you know, they're out anyway. If they draw, they're out anyway. You might as well have as much of a go at it as you can without being naive.
Rafael Leao, the goal scorer for Portugal tonight in this group. They lead Poland by a 1-0. So 3 subs waiting to come on for Scotland, 2 subs waiting to come on for Croatia. The ball won't go out of play. You're listening to us live at Hampden Park, where the rain continues to fall, on BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. Here's Modric, full commentary as well. Nations League football on Sunday, 5 o'clock live from Wembley. England against the Republic of Ireland. Layoff from Luka Sucic. Scotland putting the pressure on. Kovacic holds his man off. That was McLean. Runs away from him. Plays it to Sutalo. Conway continues to chase for Scotland. Chaleta Sarr moves the ball to the left-hand side. Croatia working it down the inside left channel. Luka Sucic has space to run into. He's followed back there by Doak. Now Gvardiol up to the edge of the Scotland penalty area here. Just pauses and plays the ball back to Sucic. Flicks it with the outside of his left boot. And Croatia still have it on the left. Kovacic. Dropping deep here is Modric. Modric turns on the ball. Threads the through ball down the left. Into the penalty area come Croatia. Gvardiol hits the shot. That's blocked and goes behind for a corner.
To be fair, that is brilliant by Croatia. You're 10 men, you've got a team that are trying to close you down, put you under pressure. Scotland never got a sniff of that ball for about 2 or 3 minutes there. From one corner to the next corner. Absolute magnificent play by Croatia.
So Luka Sucic is the first player to come off, the Real Sociedad winger. He will be replaced by Ivan Perisic, and Andre Kramaric, the centre forward, is replaced by Mario Pasalic. Croatia in the white shirts with the red checks. Not many of the red checks on the back of the shirt, because you've got to fit the name and the number on as well, so they're just right at the bottom of the shirt. They're defending the goal away to our right. Kramaric comes jogging towards the touchline, applauds the travelling fans, and then makes way as Mario Pasalic comes on. Scotland waiting to make their triple substitution. They've got the set piece to defend at the moment. Still Scotland 0, Croatia 0. With you here on 5 Live Sport through until 10 o'clock tonight. 25 minutes to play in the game. The rain continues to fall. Modric takes the corner short, offers himself again, receives the ball on the corner of the Scotland box, slides the pass. Kovacic with a little backheel pass on the turn. It's overhit and it goes behind for the goal kick.
And that's good news for Scotland. They were desperate to get these players on, because it's all about holding the ball. Scotland couldn't get the ball there. Oh, they've taken a quick goal kick. The chance to get the subs on was lost. Now, Stevie Clark doesn't look that furious about it, but the players that he's bringing on, Gold, ball holder. McGinn holds the ball as good as anyone. And of course, the man you're going to bring up front is a man that can hold the ball, chase players, drag the ball forward. Scotland should make these changes now, because they've had a bad 4 or 5 minutes and they are going to do just that.
Frustration building there. Scott McKenna's pass was aimed at Andy Robertson, who was in space on the left. There was too much on it, and it went out for a throw-in. Ryan Christie is one of those to come off. Ryan Gould is the first to come on. Kenny McLean is coming off for John McGinn. And Tommy Conway making his first start for his country tonight. Didn't get a sniff of goal, did plenty of running. He is replaced by Birmingham City's Lyndon Dykes, who was sitting alongside us, Pat Nevin, during the summer, injured for the Euros, and was part of our commentary team, and now he's out there doing the job for Scotland, looking to get this long-awaited win. One win in the last 16 internationals, no win in the last 9 competitive internationals, which is Scotland's worst run in their history. They don't want it to stretch to 10. They have a chance here tonight, up against 10 men. They've made the 3 changes. Let's see how Scotland settle with this. The first thing they've got to do again, though, is some defending. And as you said, Pat, with that last move, the way that Croatia worked the ball with 10 men, it just doesn't look like they've got 10 men.
No, it doesn't, and it's a horrible thing, because you think when you're walking out there, right, we'll dominate this, and Scotland did for about 5 or 10 minutes there, but that little period, it only lasted 2 or 3 minutes, but you know what they're doing. They're making a statement there. However, Scotland have got the likes of McGinn on now. That's sure making a difference.
John McGinn immediately onto the ball on the left. Little trick from him. Right-footed pass to Robertson. Gould involved on the left-hand side. Curling cross over the keeper, and Doak at the far post. Cannot get the shot on target. The angle was really tight for him. He hit it on the volley with his right foot, and he was trying to work it into a tiny corner to get that on target and into the net, and he couldn't quite do it.
Again, but he gets beyond the defender. It's so weird to see Guardiola having such a hard time there. Time and again he loses Gould, and Gould's a very small player, and you know Guardiola's tall, but he just loses him. He doesn't play like a left full-back because he's used to playing centre-back, and he doesn't have to defend that much usually when he's playing for Man City.
Midway through the second half, Scotland 0, Croatia 0. Chances coming for Scotland. That was a good one. Foul there on Bacharina as Scotland were hungrily trying to win the ball just outside the Croatian penalty area. Just been reminded tomorrow's Football Daily podcast on the BBC Sounds app is a feature episode. Hugo Lloris, now the Los Angeles goalkeeper, former French International World Cup winner, former Tottenham man, sits down with Steve Crossman. Hear them in conversation on the Football Daily podcast, available for you on the BBC Sounds app. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. Croatia bringing it forward with Pasalic. I tell you what, they are throwing players forward in attack still here, Croatia. Kovacic lays the ball off to Pasalic. Pasalic's cross beats Robertson, chested down at the far post, and the shot is driven well wide of the target by Perisic and behind for the goal kick. But I think there's an offside flag up there, possibly.
Yeah, but to be honest, again, they look good. In the build-up to that, there was a turn here. I'm going to show you on the telly. It was coming late. By Pasalic.
Oh,
it's
yes.
absolutely delightful.
Yeah.
There was a little kind of sigh that went around Hampden Park saying, I wish we had someone who could do that.
2 men on him, and it was a little back heel to defeat them both.
I mean, it was a real Cruyff at his best.
Yeah, absolutely, Pat. Scotland bringing it forward now down the right. This is Doak. Doak chops back onto his left foot, 35 yards from goal. John McGinn is behind him, receives the pass. Gilmour is there, plays it on to McKenna. Now Robertson wide to Gould. Robertson controls again, patient from Scotland at the moment.
But worth mentioning, Gould's first kick of the ball, and he created a chance for Doak, and that's what Scotland been looking for, a creative player. First kick almost made a goal.
Scotland fans, you can hear the noise levels going up. Doak's on the ball, beats his man down to the byline, still going, tries to get the cut back to the edge of the box. Gilmour's drive, lofted over the bar. Again, you hear the howls of frustration from the Scotland fans. They do feel it's coming. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. Back to the Billie Jean King Cup in Malaga. Russell Fuller.
Great Britain are into the quarter-finals. Katie Bolter has beaten Lara Ziegman 6-1, 6-2. So after Emma Raducanu's victory, 2-0 Britain, they win the tie. Defending champions Canada up next in the last 8 on Sunday afternoon.
Thank you, Russell. Great start for Great Britain in Malaga then. Can Scotland find this goal? Can they get that long-awaited win? 20 minutes to play. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. Croatia down to 10 men since right at the end of the first half, and Portugal leading Poland by 1-0 in the other game in this group. Northern Ireland leading Belarus by 2-0, looking to strengthen their position at the top of Group C3 and try and get promotion back to the B League in the Nations League. Guardiola's giving the ball away. Scotland fans love it. Ralston to Doak. There's a real live wire on the right for Scotland. Ralston involved again, gets it from McTominay. Back it comes into midfield. Billy Gilmour collects the ball, edge of the centre circle inside the Croatian half, across to McKenna. McKenna's looking for options and runners. Robertson is one of those wide on the left. Gould is in that inside left channel. McKenna comes creeping forward. McGinn's to his right, uses Robertson on his left. Croatia holding their defensive shape with every player behind the ball. Pace on the pass from Suter. Wide it goes to Doak. Doak this time decides not to take his man on. He's got the beating of those Croatian defenders.
Absolutely. Well, not only that, and this time Ralston did make an inside run there. The ball was on and it wasn't played in. But the back line of 4 just doesn't look right for the Croatians. I think they're used to holding the ball and playing it and being comfortable. I don't think they're used to defending under this sort of pressure.
Opportunity knocks for Scotland here. Portugal lead Poland by 2-0 now. That's good news for Scotland, trying to keep Poland close to them, but can Scotland get themselves a win? McGinn down to the byline, cross blocked by Sutalo. Behind it goes for the Scotland corner. You can feel hope inside this stadium.
McGinn comes over. I mean, he's everywhere just now. He's trying to get into the play wherever he can, but when he gets on the left-hand side, the understanding between him and Robertson is really special. So they got into an easy good position there. Managed to get a corner.
18 minutes to play, second half. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. Gilmour slides it low to Gould. Gilmour gets it back again into the box. There's the cutback. Might run to Gould. No, not enough pace on it. Now Croatia bring it away, and Scotland backpedaling. Crossing the halfway line here is Bacharina. Brilliant support from Perisic on the right-hand side. Gould is back there, tracked his man all the way, slides in and makes the block. And now Scotland fans, you can hear them roaring Andy Robertson on. Robertson brings the ball up to the halfway line, gives it to Doak. Here we go, Doak against Gvardiol. Gvardiol stops, backs off, and Doak's not going to take him on from there.
The reason why I didn't is because Billy Gilmour ran into his space.
Right.
You can't run into a space where one of your players is just taking himself and a defender into it. Isolate him, just isolate him, he's got him.
Oh, McGinn's ball looking for McTominay, nearly found him through the channel. He tried to thread one there between Gvardiol and Chaleta Sarr, and it was about 2 yards to the left of McTominay, and he couldn't collect it.
And it's classic, he'll know now after playing it. Those sort of through balls, you don't play it through, you zip it into the feet. It's up to the player to cope with it and see if he's got good enough to touch to take it out of his feet quickly. McTominay's got that. He's shown when he's in that 18-yard line over the last year or so with Scotland. Give him half a chance and he'll score, at least get a shot on target.
Former Everton and West Ham man Nikola Vlasic waiting to come on for Croatia. Katarski, the goalkeeper, clears under pressure from Dykes, nodded down on the halfway line. Modric suddenly moves onto the ball and there's danger for Scotland. Curling pass from Modric, looks perfect into the penalty area, and the shot is just wide of Gordon's left-hand post. It was Pasalic who ran through onto the ball. There was the chance, they couldn't take it.
Well, that is of all the chances in the game, that's the best one so far, the biggest one for either side so far. He's got to put that away, and he's made a real mistake not getting that on target. Gordon came out very quickly, put himself in a good position, so made him make a decision. However, 1-on-1 with the keeper, you get it over him, you should get it on target, and he didn't manage to do that. Scotland got away with one there.
That is another incredible pass from Modric on the move to put it right on the money there, so that Ralston, it was so awkward for Ralston because it was curled in behind him. That's just exquisite.
There is actually only millimetres to get it over the top of his foot, and he does it, and he meant it.
Genius.
He is absolutely phenomenal.
Right, Vlasic is on. We're approaching the last 15 minutes of the game. Looking good for Northern Ireland tonight. They lead Belarus by 2-0. Commentary of Ireland-Argentina in the autumn internationals continues over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. 2 more rugby commentaries for you tomorrow on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. England-South Africa at 5:40. France-New Zealand at 8:10. But this is Scotland against 10-man Croatia. The offside flag is up against Ryan Gould.
He's got it right. He's got it absolutely right. Scotland fans aren't happy, but he was offside by half a yard. He wasn't looking along the line. But what is incredible about this 10-man in Croatian side, they've gone all handball. There are 10 men that are playing a really high line, which is kind of extraordinary to play. But it just shows you how much they believe in themselves.
Croatian fans think it's firework night away to our left-hand side. They've got sparklers lit in the away end down there, making a heck of a noise still. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. Croatia attacking down the left. Doak comes sprinting back, does the defensive duties for Scotland. Now he's on the move inside his own half, though, from deep. Not going to take players on from there. Plays back into the 2 centre-backs. Another try in Dublin, Sarah Mulkerrins.
Yeah, Argentina are right back in this. It's Ireland 22, Argentina 16. A stunning solo try from their full-back, Juan Cruz Malia. Broke away from the halfway line, dodging and weaving past the defenders. A wonderful step at the end to touch it down under the posts. Ireland 22, Argentina 16.
15 minutes to play at Hampden Park. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. John McGinn slides a pass to his left to Robertson, gives it back to McGinn, pace on the pass from McGinn, controlled by Robertson. Gould continues to make those runs. It's just going between Robertson and McGinn at the moment, then it's blocked and it's out for a Scotland throw.
And that's okay, just keep on asking questions at Croatian defence.
Great turn by McGinn. Oh, good strength to hold off Modric as well. Now finds the pass to Gould, edge of the Croatian penalty area. A little flick pass into the box. Dykes won't get onto that. Katarski, the goalkeeper, comes sliding out and falls on the ball.
But you're okay, Gould trying that. You want Gould to try that, don't you? He's flicked it in between two players. Now, it didn't reach his intended target, but it's one of those ones, if you dink it into that area and your player can get to it, causes all sorts of trouble. And it's, again, it's a thing that Scotland have been crying out for. There's been a weakness, two weaknesses Scotland have had for a long time. An obvious centre-forward scorer, but also someone who's a kind of 10 creator. Gould is that. It's whether he's an international standard 10 creator is the question.
Red smoke from the sparklers and the flares drifts across the night air here at Hampden Park. 13 minutes to play. Croatia playing this entire second half with 10 men, still 0-0.
Here's a question for you, and I don't know the answer to it. Who's more likely to score here? It's actually 50-50, isn't it?
I think it
absolutely 50-50.
Yeah.
Even though Scotland have got the extra man, they're not necessarily home and tried or anywhere close to it here.
Great thing is both teams going for the win. That's a good ball from Gilmour, wide to Gould, little nutmeg on Modric. Oh, Gould does well to keep the ball, slides it across the edge of the box to McTominay looking to make space for the shot, wide to Robertson, gets the cross wrong, scoops it up in the air, it's over the bar, lands on the roof of the net and goes behind for a Croatia goal kick.
Really well played by Gould there. He thought he'd lost it twice there, but managed to win it back. Not noted for his tackling, but he wins both of those tackles there, and the ball in towards the back post. I think it was Robertson that tried to play into the back post there. Had it gone to the right area, once again Doak had actually trapped the back post. He was on his own, nobody marking him, and it just doesn't reach him.
Spotting it on the replay now. Goal kick for Croatia. Their fans still making a right old noise away to the left hand side, possibly not quite as much noise as was made during the U2 gig here back in 2005, the Vertigo tour that featured in Fact of the Day this Friday night, being delivered in tonight's Friday's commentary. Biggest single crowd for a music gig here inside Hampden Park was that U2 concert. Fact of the Day, football commentator gets challenged every Friday at 5:20. And that was this Friday's fact. Now, Scotland fans not happy. There's some noise inside this stadium. That is because the right back, Christian Jakic, has gone down hurt. Scotland fans feel he's clearly trying to waste a bit of time.
Because it's off the ball, and it didn't seem to be much. I didn't see anything happening to him there. But to be fair, he's had a hard evening, hasn't he?
He has.
He's been put under a lot of pressure. He doesn't quite look up to Modric as he's saying, get him off. But harsh, but he is. I'm talking about 52,000. I've been here at a game when there was 135,000 in this stadium.
Go on then, Pat. When was that and what was the game?
I don't want to tell you the year. It gives me such a terrible age. But no, 1978, semi-final of the European Cup, Leeds United against Glasgow Celtic. And the official attendance was 135,000. There was far more than that in this place.
That really could have been the fact of the day.
Extraordinary.
So Jakic is down, he's receiving treatment. Steve Clarke is pointing at the watch. Scotland have got just over 10 minutes plus whatever time is going to be added on to try and find this goal. Let's check in at Windsor Park. John Akers.
Northern Ireland 2, Belarus 0. 6 minutes plus added time remaining, and they are absolutely cruising here. Northern Ireland. It's been a terrific performance from Michael O'Neill's team. They've got Luxembourg next on Monday, but as it stands, top of the group and looking good for promotion to League B. Northern Ireland 2, Belarus 0.
Looks like Portugal are going to win this group. They are now leading Poland 3-0 tonight. Rafael Leao with the first, Cristiano Ronaldo from the penalty spot with the second, Bruno Fernandes with the third for Portugal. Some talent in that squad as always. Still Scotland 0, Croatia 0. Spain 2-1 now up away to Denmark, and Switzerland leads Serbia by a 1-0 in Group A4. Jakic is being moved on to a stretcher here to be removed from the field. While we do that, why don't we just check in on Ireland-Argentina in the rugby in Dublin. Sarah Mulkerrins.
It's getting interesting. It's Ireland 22, Argentina 19. Ireland have been racking up the penalties, discipline costing them. They had been warned by the referee, Paul Williams, and he has just sent Joe McCarthy to the bin. So Ireland down to 14, Argentina able to kick the resulting penalty, and now just 3 points in it with 51 minutes played. It's Ireland 22, Argentina 19.
Jakic does have some strapping on his right leg, which he's had on throughout the game. Obviously, we hope he's going to be okay. This is frustrating at the moment for Scotland and the Tartan Army. And here comes the change. Marco Piazza is coming on for Christian Jakic.
I wonder if they will go for that back three, back into their normal shape. If they've got the right full back off now. And it's a wee bit disappointing getting booed going off there. Anyone who's actually off in a stretcher, you don't really expect him to be booed.
No, exactly. And we don't know, do we, Pat? People think, maybe he's playing games. He does, absolutely right. Yeah. Portugal lead Poland 3-0. That will put them on 13 points. If this game ends up 0-0, Croatia will be on 8, Poland on 4, Scotland on 2. So Scotland wouldn't then be able to finish in the top 2 of this group. The great thing about doing that, if you finish in the top 2, not only do you go through to the quarterfinals, but you'd be in pot 1 for the World Cup qualification draw, pot 1 of the seeds next month. But they would be able to avoid relegation from this Nations League group if they then went away to Warsaw on Monday and beat Poland. But they could still win this game, so let's see what they can do. McTominay driving from deep, crosses the halfway line, plays the ball back to Ralston. Clever from Ralston, let it run through his legs, and Scotland have control of the ball inside their own half. Space for them to work with. McKenna goes running into that. Sees a wall of white and red in front of him. Decides to give it to Gilmour. Gilmour across to John Souttar. Souttar wide to Doak. Doak up against Gvardiol. Takes him on the outside. Gvardiol sticking with him. Not going to make a tackle just yet. Doak plays back to Ralston. Now it's with Souttar again. Across it comes to Scott McKenna. 7 minutes plus added time remaining. Portugal has scored a 4th against Poland, I see. Portugal 4, Poland 0. So Poland not in great shape ahead of that game against Scotland on Monday night. Here's Ralston, hurried into the pass with his left foot. Doak couldn't keep it in play, and it goes out for a throw into Croatia.
It's a real shame that, because Doak initially ran Gvardiol down the line, and by running him down the line, he took the entire Croatian side back 20 yards and gave Scotland a really good pedestal to sort of build on, but they didn't quite build on it there, and it's a shame because running out of time now, and Scotland will be, having not dominated the game, they'd still be disappointed only getting a point out of this.
Croatia playing with 10 men, still looking to see if they can sneak a win out of this. Here's Kovacic battling for the ball inside the Scotland half. McGinn slides in, got a touch on the ball. Croatia thought they kept that in play wide on the left, but no. So that's going to be a throw in for Scotland inside their own half.
We were talking earlier, Alistair, about the fact that the late goals against Scotland recently, and then before that the late goals for Scotland. This game could have it, couldn't it? It really could have it.
Yeah, it feels like it. McTominay's ball zips across the wet turf to Doak. Doak running at Gvardiol, beats him on the outside into the box, powers it into the near post, blocked by the goalkeeper. Rebound doesn't fall for Scotland, cleared. That will be a Scotland throw.
Is it being unkind in Gvardiol? He's not getting near Doak, is
no.
He's getting absolutely nowhere near him. And I've always thought that about Gvardiol. He's a centre back, he's a left centre of 3. Left full back, not so good defensively.
McGinn trying to pick a pass there for the run of Robertson. It was intercepted, but only gone as far as Gilmour. Gilmour into goal, back to McGinn. Thought about an early cross, dummies that with his left foot, plays the ball back here to McKenna. Can Scotland find a way through? Last game, of course, against Portugal here finished 0-0. This 0-0. Triple step over from Doak. Trick again. Cross in. Katarski pumps it away. McGinn shot. Deflected it in. Super John McGinn does it for Scotland at Hampden Park. Could this be the night they get that long-awaited victory? Massive goal for Scotland. The stadium explodes, and of course it is John McGinn who pounces in the box and puts them in front. Scotland 1, Croatia 0.
Well, earlier on in this game, the ball was falling to players that you didn't want to fall to, like Gilmour on the edge of the box. You were just hoping it would fall to either McTominay or that man McGinn. And when he gets half a chance, look, it's on the half volley. It's not an easy one, but he keeps it down, keeps it on target, power, and just let the ball do the rest. But let's be fair, every single Scotland player didn't run him again. They ran to that man, Doak.
Yeah.
The now absolutely undroppable Ben Doak. He's been brilliant today, and he has destroyed Gvardiol there. And it all came from his run down the line. Keeper punches it out, but it's a great hit. By the way, there is a player in an offside position, but he was behind the keeper and had no effect.
9 competitive internationals without a win going into this game. The last win in a competitive game was away to Cyprus in the Euro 2024 qualification campaign. Croatia would be some scalp. It would keep the possibility of finishing second in this group alive if they were to go away and beat Poland. Poland have now conceded a 5th away to Portugal tonight. Portugal 5, Poland 0. But it's now all about playing this game out, getting the win. And Croatia, of course, down to 10 men. They're going to have to work extremely hard to try and find their equaliser. Look at McGinn fighting for the cause, eventually penalised for a foul on Vlasic. Croatia get a free kick 40 yards from the Scotland goal in the inside right channel.
Did somebody mention that there was going to be an opening and a late goal? We agreed. It just felt like that. There would be a late goal. There could be more than a late goal.
We've seen it before, and certainly in this group for Scotland, Poland scored with a 97th minute penalty to win 3-2 at Hampden Park. Cristiano Ronaldo scored in Portugal to beat Scotland 2-1. That came in the 88th minute. Here's Modric with the free kick. Chested down by Robertson on the edge of the penalty area. Might run to Modric. Gilmour flicks the ball into Modric. Chance for Scotland to kill them on the counter now as Robertson drives it forward to McTominay. Kovacic has lost sight of the ball. McTominay tries to bring it down. Gilmour backs him up, can't win the tackle, and eventually Lyndon Dykes does win a tackle for Scotland, and it goes out for a throw into Croatia on the right inside their own half.
This is such an enjoyable game. I don't mind if they put up 10 minutes extra at the end of this game. It's end to end. Scotland aren't sitting back in this. It's such an open game, but Croatia just have to throw players forward. Scotland will get great chances to break. That time it was McTominay. I think Scotland fans just want it to be Doak, because if he gets behind the defence, nobody's catching him.
Switzerland 1, Serbia 1, latest in Group A4. Spain are going to win that group though at the moment. They are leading Denmark in Denmark by 2-1. Every touch, every tackle, every run by the Scotland players being roared by the Tartan Army. And I tell you what, it'll be some victory against a team as good as Croatia to end a long winless run. And yes, given the advantage of playing against 10 men because of the Petr Sucic sending off, but Scotland have really gone for it in the second half. They found that goal. At the moment they lead, and they're still battling for the ball here inside the Croatia half, and there's McGinn just going to shield the ball as he so expertly does and play a pass back into his own half to Suter. Suter across to Gilmour. 89th minute of the game. There's plenty of added time coming, I think. Ball is lobbed up towards Dykes. Dykes can't win that one. Piazza gets a foot on it, knocks it down the left. Gilmour intercepts. He's given the ball away. Here's Piazza for Croatia. Evades a couple of Scotland challenges. On the ball, 25 yards from goal. Rolls it to his left. This is Kovacic. Kovacic strokes his pass back to Modric. Central position, 35 yards out. You can sense the tension inside Hampden Park. Stuart Armstrong's waiting to come on for Scotland late in the game here. We're into the 90th minute. Scotland leading through that John McGinn goal. Modric plays to his right to Perisic. 5 minutes of added time. Perisic's cross comes in. Flick header from Gilmour. Doesn't get enough on it. Scotland have got it away, but only so far. And here's Kovacic. Kovacic pops a little ball forward into the feet of Piazza. Gvardiol threads a pass into the box. Layoff from Pasalic, comes back to Kovacic. Kovacic's ball forward into the penalty area is harmless. Gordon catches it and immediately slings it out to Gould.
Yeah, I love that. The fact that Scotland are not going to slow it down now at the goalkeeper, although Gould decides to do so. You've got McGinn trying to slow it down as well. But, you know, real chance of a break there. And the idea of it just sitting back and trying to play out the game against most teams is okay. Not sure it's a great idea against Croatia. They are too good in the ball when they get it. But so far, they've had a few good chances, one brilliant chance in this second half, but not that many.
That was a good run made by Gould. He's offside though. McTominay released the pass just a little bit too late. You could see Gould just holding and trying to get onto it. Must mention, by the way, John McGinn's goal. First in a little while for him for Scotland, first in 10 appearances for his country, but a 19th in total. Puts him level with Ali McCoy, 6th on his own in the list of all-time Scotland top scorers. So he was level with Kenny Miller, goes past him, and now goes level with Ali McCoy. Fabulous career John McGinn has had for club and country. Full-time at Windsor Park, John Akers.
A win for Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland 2, Belarus 0. Dan Ballard of Sunderland at the start of the second half, bundling in, stooping for a header to make it 1-0 from a corner, and then Dion Charles from the penalty spot after a VAR handball decision. So a point will do as it stands at the moment, with Bulgaria winning in Luxembourg. A point will do on Monday for Northern Ireland in Luxembourg because of their superior head-to-head record against them. So that's a good night for Northern Ireland. They've won 2-0 against Belarus.
Good night for Northern Ireland, looking like being a very special night for Scotland at Hampden Park, and the hero of the hour, or one of them, Ben Doak, is going to get a 3-4 minute standing ovation here. He's been substituted off, luckily for him, on the far side of the field. He's going to take a long walk around the pitch, but he deserves every second of that.
You're saying man of the moment. He's man of the match, definitely. I don't think there may be any argument against that. I mean, he's done okay in games before that. I think he came of age tonight for Scotland. He just looks like a player you can't drop. He was fabulous tonight.
What a moment for Ben Doak. National anthem being sung. Hair standing up on the back of your neck. He's applauding all the Scotland fans. Scotland's players out there still have some defending to do against 10-man Croatia. 3 minutes of added time remaining. Scotland leading 1-0. Crossing to their penalty area. Dangerous one. Gordon makes the save. It came straight at him. There were plenty of bodies in there. I don't know who got the final touch, but it just shows Scotland have got to be switched on right to the final whistle here.
Yeah, we don't do it the easy way. That's not the way it happens in Scotland. What's been lovely, you talk about that long walk by Ben Doak there. He had a standing ovation all the way around, and absolutely rightly so. Look, he's played in an international game against a top side. He is only 19 against Guardiola, who's a top player, and he's still been the best player on the pitch.
2 minutes of the game remaining. Scotland leading Croatia by a 1-0. A win that will mean so much. Steve Clarke has been hearing time and time again, reading time and time again. One win in the last 16 internationals. It only came against Gibraltar. The disappointment of the Euros, the good performances in this group, but no end result. This could be the end result tonight. Defending still to do. Here's the danger man, Modric. Left-footed cross into the box. Robertson is there, heads it away. Gilmour happy just to thump it clear on the volley with his right foot, and it goes out for a throw-in to Scotland. 90 seconds remaining. In terms of the Nations League group, Poland getting thumped tonight. All to play for on Monday night in Warsaw. Poland will be on 4 points, Scotland will be on 4 points. If Scotland can win the game and turn the head-to-head round, they'll avoid relegation.
To be honest, you told me those possibilities before the game and I almost sniggered. I'm not laughing now.
Here they come, Croatia, with Perisic on the right. Dummies the cross with his right foot, curls it in with his left, dangerous ball, headed straight up in the air. Gordon says, my ball. Instead, McKenna decides to take matters into his own hands, heads it to his left. Robertson smashes the ball into the stands. It goes out for a throw into Croatia. We've got a minute to play.
Panic stations, absolute panic stations in Scotland. They're just lumping it absolutely anywhere. They need to get the ball down. This may well be the very last chance. All the Croatians have come up for this long throw.
Perisic with the throw. Powerful one, headed away though by Robertson. Miscontrolled by Sutalo. He's got to go back to his goalkeeper. Robertson has come chasing all the way up the pitch for Scotland. 30 seconds to play. Robertson still chasing. Modric plays a pass forward, headed away by Gilmour. Clever from McTominay. Just got to keep the ball now for Scotland. Holds on to it, crosses the halfway line. Stuart Armstrong goes running ahead of him. Really clever from McTominay. Waited for the challenge, bought the foul, wins the free kick. Scotland are nearly there.
How often do you do something like that? You just win a foul and the whole place erupts, but they know how important that is. That might be just enough to get Scotland over the line. Well done, McTominay.
5 minutes of added time are up. Scotland lead Croatia 1-0. Listen to that inside Hampden Park. At long last, Scotland get a win on the board in a competitive international. And when you've not won for as long as that, it is going to taste very, very sweet indeed. Ben Doak, the man who caused all the danger, who created havoc, who created the chance for John McGinn, who made a timely appearance off the bench, arrived at the right time, stuck it into the back of the net. Scotland have 3 points, and in this group they are now level on points with Poland. It is all to play for in Warsaw on Monday night. Great night for Scotland, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, it's always going to be difficult against a quality team, and even if they're down to 10 men, and people will bring that up, but it's still going to be tough. Scotland had to ride their luck a couple of times in the second half, but they created plenty of chances, and where there were weaknesses in the Croatian side, Scotland made good use of it. And it said it right at the start of the second half, behind the two fullbacks, and I mean both of them, including Gavardiol. The fact that Scotland knew what to do, and that'll be the coach, and that'll be some of the players as well, saying, right, that's where you have to have a dig at them, have a go at them. And the players worked really, really hard. By the way, we hardly mentioned Craig Gordon. Really good game for the big man tonight. Once again, could never write that guy off at 41 years of age. But in the end, see if you're a coach standing by him. By the way, if I came out, got a bunch of kills behind me singing. If you're Stevie Clarke and you make big calls like, I'm not starting with McGinn, I'm going to leave him to an important moment. That's a good call now, isn't it? In fact, that's a cracker.
Hampden Park has come alive. The sweet, sweet taste of success. And a win for Scotland against a really good team, a 10-man Croatian team, but Scotland took it to them in the second half. They really have unearthed a gem in Ben Doak. He gets better and better and better for Scotland, and the man they wanted the ball to fall to was John McGinn. It did. He scored. Scotland win. Scotland 1, Croatia 0.